Greetings, weary travelers, come. Warm yourself by the fire, and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, tales of struggle by LotusOfDoom, and tales of Tamriel. I'm your host, Arkaniir, and I'm back with my amazing crew. Starting with the man, the myth, the legend, the conductor of the struggle bus, LotusOfDoom. How's it going, Lotus?
It's great. Everything's great.
You sound
definitely not just sat through 3 hours of Battle Spire right before the show.
I felt bad initially, but then I enjoyed it truly. So
Oh my.
we'll get to that. Also joining us, as usual, the giggle queen herself, the joy of the show, HyperPixie. How's it going, Pixie?
Going great. Hoping I remember how to podcast tonight.
It's fine. We never knew how to podcast to begin with, so I don't think we can forget it. So...
Right.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, we just fake it, and everybody's like, "Yeah, no, they do this. They have scripts. They know what they're doing." It's like, sure.
To this day, I am still very confused that some people thought this was scripted. This incoherence was planned. The what's the word? Faith people have in us is amazing.
I just opened the wrong notes.
Oh, there you go. See,
we're
are we recording Elder Scrolls Lorecast now?
Apparently.
Am I suddenly Tom? What?
Yeah, so you're Tom, and we're about to discuss the Divines.
Okay, there you go. There you go. So Blackwood has launched for Pixie and myself. Lotus being on console, he had to opt in for Battle Spire yet again for another week. So we have a lot of things to talk about. Well, you have the game on PC. You could always just buy the expansion
it's true.
on PC as well.
It's true. I could jump in on PC as well if I really didn't want to wait. I'm pretty excited to mess around with it, though. It seems like... I'm not totally blind on everything, but from what I've seen, like I haven't looked up story stuff, but watching both of you play on stream and stuff, it looks pretty awesome. I like this. I really like the setting. I kind of made the reference that last time there was the problem of Greymoor was snow and all that stuff. And because it was summer, that really didn't mesh too much with me. This is swamp and heat and misery, and I'm like, yeah, it's perfect. It was 92 degrees today. Exactly what I need.
There you
That's
go.
understandable. It was raining most of the day today here, so it was like 76% humidity, and I was dying, hiding inside because it felt like whenever I walked outside, I was swimming, which is, I'm assuming, what it feels like in Blackmarsh.
Yep.
Yeah, it probably does. It probably does. I mean, climate-wise, I don't think I would enjoy Blackmarsh at all, but the zone in the game is absolutely gorgeous, and we are gonna get into all of that with the news, with our experience, with our tales, minus Lotus. He will be regaling us with his Battle Spire struggles that he went through just before the stream, which are gonna be vulgar, just so everybody knows. I mean, we've made a disclaimer that we are no longer super family friendly and we are going to allow slip ups here and there. But this episode, particularly when it comes to tales, will probably be a little bit more vulgar. So earmuffs,
I'm like, haha mad and also legitimately angry.
At some point, you were legitimately angry. Yeah, that was. You went from haha Battle Spire to God very quick. Yeah.
The amount of glitching was driving me up a wall.
But yeah, before we get into all of that, obviously I have to give a few shout outs, starting with our amazing Knights of DCN patrons, that is STDLC and Dr. Saints. Thank you so very much for your support, as well as everyone who supports us on Twitch and on Patreon. It is very, very appreciated. We also have an iTunes review, and I want to mention something about the iTunes review. iTunes only shows you basically you can only see one country at a time with the reviews and ratings and stuff. unless you use a third-party service, which I just signed up for. So from now on, I will be able to see everyone's reviews. What I did before was just manually check a whole bunch of countries that I can think of off the top of my head. But from now on, I can actually see all the reviews that you guys give us. So this is from Eternal Spring. It's actually from April 14, and this is from United Kingdom. That's why it's a bit late of a review, because the US page of Tales on iTunes is the default one that comes up. So I've been checking that, apparently. So yeah. But from now on, I'll actually be able to see all of these. So this is titled An Essential on the List. If you're into anything Elder Scrolls, then I highly recommend this podcast. Arkaniir, LotusOfDoom, and HyperPixie have kept me company on my commute to and from work for over a year, and it feels like we are all friends. Hell yeah. I find their, particularly arcs, open-minded inclusion of the elves and all species in particular, the lovable cuddly guar, heartwarming. I don't like this anymore. Like a free love flower. Yeah. Like a free love flower painted Campawan from the 60s.
That was so heartwarming.
It was going so well, and then things took a wrong turn. And man,
No.
The planning that must go into this show must be painstaking, particularly how they managed to squeeze a 4-hour show into a 1-hour slot is breathtaking. Or is it the other way around? Honestly,
that is one of the best descriptions I've ever heard of this show.
Oh my god, it's perfect.
That was so on point with what we were talking pre-show and just before the intro. Yeah. So a lot of planning. Absolutely. This we definitely know what we are doing. After 273 episodes, we got the hang of it for sure. The ending song, I sing along in the car every time. I never get tired of it. Honestly, I think that's everyone. That's us too.
Oh, yeah.
When we mute our microphones and it's Red
Right.
Diamond, Red Diamond. That's actually from one of our community members, Wandering Bard. He made that song, oh my god, how many years ago? I don't even know at this point, but for Tales and...
Gotta be close to 7.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
most likely, yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be about
And-
7 years.
That is the best cover of Red Diamond in existence. If you
is.
can go out there, you can't find anything better than that one. So, hey, Bard, we love you, man. I know we give you a hard time as well every now and then, but we also really love
nice
you.
things occasionally.
Much love to these three. By doing what they do, they keep great company to so many people. I just wish I was in a more familiar time zone so I could sub their streams. I appreciate that. Honestly, our time zone, we are not even friendly to our own time zones most of the time. So that is very understandable. But thank you so much for that 5-star, and thank you so much for your nice words. I really, really appreciate that. Also, now that I can look back in the reviews, this is from almost a year ago, but I missed it. So this is from Germany. This is from August 26, 2020, actually. This is from Lucius. I mean, it's been like a year, but I'm gonna read it anyway. So this is another 5-star with the title, Love It. Hey guys, I'm from Germany and I really love your podcast. You are as crazy about the Elder Scrolls universe as I am and was from Morrowind on. I started listening to you a few days ago from Podcast 1 and follow your journey since that. At that time, they were at the episode 12, but that was a year ago. Great insight in Elder Scrolls Online while I started playing Skyrim for the 3rd time now. Will I ever finish? Probably not. Oh, there's a cave I've never
probably
explored
not.
before. You know the problem, yeah. Gonna play Elder Scrolls Online when sometime I finish playing Skyrim. Playing it simultaneously, unfortunately, does not make much sense for me because of limited time and money. PlayStation 4 player, by the way, so thank you for your ambitious project, Romy. Thank you so much for that review. I hope you're still listening to us. I hope you're caught up. I mean, with 273 episodes, even a year might not be enough time to catch up.
With
to
that
come
many
up to date, but
episodes, I was gonna say he might not have had enough hours in a day to actually get through all of them by this point.
And yeah, we don't record short episodes. That's for sure. I mean, we did once try to record, like, we did once say, okay, we are gonna condense our episodes to 1 hour, and people didn't like that. People were like, where's the 5-hour episode? So here we are. We are the ramblers, I guess. But yeah, from now on, I can definitely see all of the reviews on iTunes, on all of the countries, and it is really, really appreciated. That said, quick behind-the-scenes update as well. So I'm revamping our Patreon with some new ideas that I had. So they will probably go live at the start of July with some of the stuff coming up within this month. One of those things is actually early access to all of our Patreon supporters and Twitch supporters. So that is going to be 24 to 48 hours early access for all of our supporters there. And including to that, I'm trying to come up with some physical rewards as well that I can send to people, like stickers and whatnot, but that'll depend on my limited abilities of artistic stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so from now on, Twitch supporters and Patreon supporters will, like before, get the episodes earlier. So yeah, early access is coming up. Now, with that, we can jump right into all the things that have been happening in the universe of Elder Scrolls, and mainly Elder Scrolls Online, starting with the launch of Blackwood on PC Mac Stadia. We can now, since Tuesday, we got the access to the game, and oh my god, I've been enjoying it a lot. I don't think this might be the most involved I am with the launch of a chapter, mainly because of companions, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, I am loving the whole companions deal.
It's fantastic, really.
It's so nice. It's so nice. And I'm gonna get more into it in detail in Tale section. But to quickly recap what we got with the new Blackwood chapter, because we talked about this in detail in so many episodes, so we are not going to go into super details like patch notes and everything for this. So we got the new zone, Blackwood, which is the southern Cyrodiil border all the way to Shadowfen. So it's sort of the southern section of... southern section of Cyrodiil with Blackmarsh. It is swampy, but it is an absolutely beautiful zone, and the map is massive. It's big. The new map we got, it's not small. It's the public dungeons in it are large, the map itself is large, one of the houses that we are getting in it is ridiculously large. I don't even know how to decorate that one. So yeah,
that was something I noticed actually. Yesterday, I was in Tony Axe Out stream, and while he was roaming around the countryside, I was like, "Oh my god!" He brought up the map, and I couldn't believe how small the symbols were, all the way zoned out. It was like, yikes! I mean, the zones in general are like relatively big with chapters, but this one just seemed much more like kind of what everybody joked is like the pinnacle-sized ones was like Vardenfell or Hrothgar, and it definitely seems a little more like that than Northern Elsewhere / what do you call it?
It's
Western Skyrim. It seems really big.
It is. I mean, it's bigger than Vardenfell. Because Vardenfell, as a map, looks very big, but it has the giant red mountain and a big unplayable area in the middle of it. And even if Red Mountain was a thing, even if the entire Vardenfell map was playable, I think Blackwood is still slightly bigger. I would have to put them side by side there. But it's definitely, I think, the biggest zone in terms of playable area that we got.
It looked it from watching other people so far. Like, you know, not having messed with it myself yet, it definitely looked that way.
Yeah, it's massive. It's definitely massive. So with that, we got a new main storyline, which I actually haven't touched at all myself. Which involves, obviously, Mehrunes Dagon, or Daddy Dagon, as he was dubbed by the Elder Scrolls Online community, unfortunately. But, you know, it is what it is. We got the new system Companions, which allow us to have our NPC allies following around, leveling up, casting skills, you know, acting as tanks, DPS, healer, whatever, however you set them up as. They have their own storyline, they have their own personalities, their likes, their dislikes. They are not capable of doing complicated mechanics or anything, but they are really nice to have overland for immersive reasons, or just to, you know, do easier content without relying on anyone else or pugs. We are gonna get more into that in Tales as well. Got a new 12-person trial with called Rock Grow, which has a really fun final mechanic. I don't know if Lotus or Pixie, if you have seen that yet.
No, I haven't.
Nope.
Okay, I thought maybe because you mentioned the ESO Live earlier, I thought you may have watched it, Lotus. But are you?
I got to watch. So I watched up till. Let me put it this way. I guess not entirely no. 80% no, because once they started doing the trial, I didn't want to see how it worked.
Oh, okay.
So
okay. I was gonna ask if you
stopped.
wanted to just do it blind yourself. Then
Yeah, that's the idea. Is a group of people want to just kind of go in on Vet blind.
Oh, nice.
But I did watch like the earlier part of it where they were talking about the charity efforts that they've got going on right now, and then the stream event, and they were just kind of talking about some of the patches and stuff like that. That's ideally going to be hopefully fixing some of the bugs, which although there's one that we will refer to, and it seems like there's a couple here or there that are problematic, it seems like, at least on PC, not too shabby of a launch. It seems smoother than
so far,
most, at least on PC, from what I'm seeing.
So far, I didn't have any major issues myself. I mean, I didn't do any prog runs or anything like that. We know one, you know, the shield problem, the blocking issue that I'm gonna, well, I guess we can explain it now. So apparently there's a blocking bug with the block costs that while you are holding your block, it doesn't really update your stamina, but once you release your block, it updates your stamina, but you lose full amount of cost. So even if you are using like sturdy and stamina cost reduction stuff, you still lose the full amount. So while you are blocking, you are not realizing that you are draining your stamina until it's too late. And once you do stop blocking, boom, it goes out all the way. So yeah,
it's pretty rough on permablock style tanking.
Yeah.
The only thing which I guess it's whatever. I'd like things to break in my favor. It'd be just kind of neat if it like maybe did that in that situation, but it'd be nice if while your bar wasn't showing it, you just weren't using stamina until you let go of block, so I could just literally permablock. It's been a long time since I've been able to permablock.
I do. I mean, permablock was a lot more boring, but I kind of miss it.
Oh,
the good old
that is
Histbark with White Strike Retribution.
Yep. And I was going to say, way back in like Cragglorn trial days, it's like, all right, how do you do this? I'd never let go of block, hit the things. Like, that was just what I would do.
It was before. So back then, you could still regenerate stamina while blocking.
I love
blocking, sprinting, and whatnot did not drop your stamina regeneration to 0. So you would regenerate stamina while blocking. And back then, what Major Evasion did, I don't even think it was called Major Evasion back then, was give you 20% dodge chance outright.
Yep.
So Histbark meant Histbark gave you Major Evasion while you were blocking, which you could block forever because your stamina was still regenerating, and it gave you 20% dodge chance on any and all attacks. So you could just sit there, hold right click, and that was it. That was tanking. For like the first year of the game, that was just tanking.
Mm-hmm. Those were the days.
So we got a new type of world event, Oblivion Portals. This is gonna be one of my discussion topics after the news. Actually, I'm gonna get back to that in detail. These are like public dungeons that you port into through portals that spawn randomly on the map. Everybody gathers up. They spawn in random locations inside Deadlands. There are certain different variety of different maps or dungeons, if you will. And you go through killing a whole bunch of ads and side bosses, and then the final boss, much like a public dungeon. Obviously, a lot of new furnishing items, side quests, characters, challenges, achievements for Lotus, and all sorts of things that always get added into the game whenever there is a new zone added. So those are the things that we got with the Blackwood chapter. And as the time goes, as we play around, we are going to touch everything in detail in our tales sections or with our discussion topics. But that is the overall the... I forgot the outline of the chapter. There you go. I was trying to find that word. One thing is, though, we did not get Seals of Endeavor yet. That is going to release later this month. So the tabs for Seals of Endeavor, which will be the ability to, the in-game currency to buy crown crate items by doing in-game activities, as we discussed before. That does not exist yet. I assume they are waiting for the console launch as well. So everything, like that whole thing comes out together between PC, console, as in a unified manner. Makes sense.
Well, I think they announced that Seals of Endeavor are actually launching with the new Crown Crate season.
Oh, that makes sense too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just
I feel like I heard that
they do
too.
The Seals of Endeavor.
Gotcha. Cool.
They also delayed the console enhanced, which is the Elder Scrolls Online's new version for PlayStation 5 and Xbox new one. I forgot the name. Xbox Series X or something like that.
Sure. The Xbox.
The Xbox, several letters and numbers.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
so
all fine.
I discovered today that the abbreviation for Xbox Series X would be XSX, which if you say it fast, just sounds like XSX, which is like excess of X's.
It does sound like XSX.
Which it is an excess of X's. So
yes.
I feel like that is the only way that can be named now.
That because of Vikings, all I can think of is like King of Essex.
True. Yep.
And if they don't use that somehow, they failed. Like if they let people think that's an excess of X's rather than, I don't know, some royalty of Essex, then their marketing department has failed.
Well, to be fair, I don't know if they'll ever be able to outdo their previous one, which was the Xbox Series S All Digital Edition, where it just spelled Xbox sad. And I just remember the internet was like, really? Nobody on your team caught this? Like, nobody saw the
maybe
Xbox
they did,
sad?
but they were sad, so they're like,
just let it go.
This checks out, you know?
Yeah, but I just remember that one. I was like, oh no, you got a sad Xbox.
Xbox sad.
But yeah, so the console enhanced edition is going to bring new shaders, better textures, basically overall make Elder Scrolls Online look better on consoles. Also provide the ability to either play at like 4K, but with a lower frame rate, or 2K with like 60 frames or something like that. But that's gonna come a week later after consoles launch, so that they can make sure everything is working before introducing console enhanced as well. And if anything breaks, they can look at things individually, which I think is a very, very good idea.
Yeah, that seemed pretty solid. I know some people were a little annoyed by it, but it was like, actually, this one seems like maybe the best. Like, again, delays don't really bother me. So, I mean, I guess you can take that with a grain of salt if you think that I'm too patient or something. But like, that one seems like you're just eliminating some of the potential buildup of problems solely on the fact of finding what errors would relate to what what patch. Like if you throw a bigger patch or break said patch into two different things, anything that breaks in the first one clearly did not relate to patch that has not come out yet. So
Right.
it just makes bug management, I would imagine, easier. So
Oh, yeah.
in this situation, I'm like, yeah, that probably is good. Maybe actually keep in mind less ambition with a few more patches, not just that going forward. Because some of the overhauls they do are involved, which maybe a little less, but a little more frequent with patches would be useful. You know, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, at that point, it always depends on the whole console's patch problems, though. Like how you couldn't get the fix up until next week.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to do frequent patches, but they can't. I don't know. Let's say.
I blame Sony.
Yeah, we should all blame Sony.
That's fair. That's fair.
So all of this is being celebrated by yet another team stream, which involves a schedule of all of your favorite Elder Scrolls Online stream team members, including HyperPixie,
Yay.
streaming for the celebration back to back for the entire week. So, Pixie, do you want to talk about what this is and when you will be doing this?
Sure. So basically, Bethesda's going to be, it's been broken up into 2-hour time slots, and Bethesda's going to be hosting that scheduled streamer during their stream. We've been given copies of Blackwood to give away. Also, I have a pink torchbug pet that I'm going to give away as well as a lot of the other streamers too. My time slot is Saturday, so tomorrow if you're watching live, from 8 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern. And so it's basically like a big raid train. It's a lot of fun. We've got a lot of stuff to give away. I know personally my stream will be main story spoiler free. I think I'm going to do portals and run through the new public dungeons and see those because they're really, really cool. But it's going to be a really good time.
There you go, folks. So when she would normally stream on Saturdays, which is before when we normally record this, she will be doing a whole lot of big party shenanigans, and there will be keys. So if you don't have Blackwood already, set your times for tomorrow. Well, it might be in the past by the time this episode goes out, but I will try to get it ready and out as soon as I wake up, or maybe if I don't go to sleep after this, before Pixie goes live. So hopefully this will reach everyone in time. We also got the Crownstore Showcase June. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about everything that is involved. There's, as usual, a whole bunch of costumes, hats, beards, things like that. If there's anything that you want to particularly bring up, do so. One thing I really specifically want to mention is that new music box, the Liberation of Leavin. It's like a theater scene type. I don't even know how to explain this properly, but it's a small castle, and I believe it will have the animated battle, the Liberation of Leavin, with like card box, the old school card box theater type thing, and it's only a picture from what I can see in the Crownstore Showcase right now, but I most likely will get this immediately because I feel like that's gonna have a great animation to it, as well as, you know, Leavin themed. So I need it for the Water's Edge house that I will purchase as soon as I complete the achievement.
That is a really cool looking music box.
Really
cool looking music box.
For me, it won't be better than the Ysgramor's 500 companions, but it's definitely...
That one is so great. The detail on the music boxes, I mean, the music is really cool to them, but the detail on them is so intricate.
Yeah, whoever is designing these, I don't know who you are, but we love you.
Yeah, you're very talented at this.
I want whoever makes these specifically on the show.
Yeah, I never, I don't know, when they first introduced them, I was like, oh, what a cool little concept. But it never dawned on me that they would get this elaborate, where it's like, wow, these are ridiculous.
Initially, they were actually music boxes, like legit, just a box.
Yeah, now
they
they're
have
like
all these
collectible music box things, like you would see like from like the Victorian era and stuff like that.
Yeah. Imagine if they did this physically one day, like with the animations and everything.
Oh my god,
that
be
would
a
require some
in-life music box.
Yeah, that would require some serious, I guess, mechatronics to make it all work in real life.
For real. Yeah.
Man, if they did, oh man.
Get a full team of legit engineers to piece that one together.
Like, here's a kidney. It's in good condition.
Can
I have one of these, please? Put it on
please
the counter.
Put my kidney on ice.
But yeah, there are a whole bunch of other pets and mounts and whatnot are coming back as well. But as I said, I'm not gonna go into detail of those. There's gonna be a massive DLC pack though. I mean, Elder Scrolls Online's count of DLCs are increasing immensely with us getting 3 DLCs every year. So now there is the Year 2 Mega Pack DLC bundle, which will, I guess, involve... It doesn't say, unfortunately. I kind of want to say everything. From the picture, I see Sora Sil. I see the Horns of the Reach. And I can't tell which one that is on the left. Maybe March of Sacrifices with the big Hajmota in the swamps. But I guess, yeah, this is going to involve a whole lot of DLC. So if you don't have the previous DLCs of Elder Scrolls Online, and if you are not subbing to ESO Plus, these bundles generally have a good price. So do wait until June 21 to purchase them. And another thing is, yeah, these are gonna have good prices. And that's pretty much the news we have.
There is one more very
ahead.
important piece of news.
Go ahead.
The ESO chairs went on sale.
Oh, right.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I completely forgot about that because it doesn't involve me at all.
Yeah. My heart goes out to my chair buddy and also benevolent in chat and everybody in Canada who does not get the chair for some reason. Probably because they seem incredibly limited. So I actually, I guess that can be a tale for later, is my adventure of getting one of these chairs, because I had some very choice words with my bank who was like, someone stole your credit card. And I was like, this is a time-sensitive matter. Unlock the card or I'll kill you.
Oh no.
This is not the time to be secure, damn it.
Yes, I was going to say, all security waived. But yeah, so what do you call it? I guess from my understanding, because I am in the Noble Discord as well, so they kind of give updates there. The site, just because why not? This is just how things go. A lot of us woke up pretty early because they went on sale, at 7 a.m. my time, much earlier elsewise. I was talking to Loctavian and Jimmy Shabadoo that morning when we were all just awake. And for Loctavian, I believe it was 4 a.m. And he was like, I just didn't go to sleep because I couldn't chance not actually getting up. And we're all talking and the site's not updating and the site's not updating and the site's not updating. And I was like, okay, what is happening? And then an hour goes by and I'm like, I need to go to work. I can't, and I don't have a desk job. So I was like, I don't have computer access to this. This is a problem. I guess I'll just guess. So Pylon from the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages, he basically was on guard duty for me and was like, I'll message you the second the site updates. At which point, talking to some of the people from Noble, they updated everything so that they ran into a technical problem on the launch of the site.
Oh no.
So it was delayed for 2 hours. So unfortunately, people did wake up for nothing in the end, which is rough if you were trying to stay awake. It didn't sell out freaky fast because one of the things that a lot of people are kind of noting, and you're not wrong to do so, they're not inexpensive chairs. These are very, like, these are a luxury item. They really are. But gaming chairs in general kind of are. And then when you put branding on it, okay, tack on like a brand fee. But like, they're $500. Like, there's no reason to sugarcoat it. I don't work for Noble.
They were $400.
They are not. They are $499.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So be aware of that if you would like one. Shipment 1, from my understanding, which I'm very happy to say that it seems like I'm in. We'll see. Look, I'll believe it when the chair shows up to my house. They're apparently getting shipped out, in the middle of the month if you're on shipment 1. Then from my understanding, they are still taking pre-orders because everything's done in pre-orders right now. You can still order them. As far as I know, they're still available and everything like that. But then I think the time frame starts getting out to August and September is for like other shipments because, again, yes, COVID is getting better. Yes, there was that whole boat thing that happened with the canal. All of that has obviously caused some issues with shipping and production. So I think they'll just probably keep trying to meet demand and it might just back up for a while. But unfortunately, subtract $100, kind of like what you were referring to, Pixie. That's the price of a larger gamer chair, not like a one if you're shorter, but it's like the one I'm in now, which I'll be selling to one of my friends to recoup some of the cost at a cheaper price, as I've had this one for a while. This was $400. Actually, I think it was $450 or $480. Like, it's not that is unfortunately kind of the price to these things a lot of times.
Yeah.
They're not cheap. They're great. Like, I personally love mine, and I hope that, I like the new one too. But yeah, it's very cool. If it's something you can afford or set aside money for, because hopefully they'll just keep producing them for people. So it's not like you only get one chance and it's gone. The only problem is because of the limited supplies, I know Canada was kind of left in the dust with we actually don't know when we can get them to you, which I feel bad because Pylon and I have been discussing the chair every morning since basically they were announced.
Oh, God.
And now he needs one more than I do because his chair is falling apart and he only has one and has to carry it up and down for work, like up and down stairs. Oh. So theoretically, he should get priority over me. But yep. So the ESO chairs, quite the fiasco. Getting them going, but it looks like they're finally here for those of you who are interested.
There you go. I mean, I just checked, and yeah, it doesn't ship to Turkey.
Yeah, well,
okay, if that was a dub, Canada,
and it did ship to Turkey.
I just checked because of that. I was like, if due to some mistake or something, I have like it's available here. I was just gonna message Pylon to make fun of him, but yeah, it doesn't.
So we actually. Our original plan, unfortunately, the border is still closed, so it's not like you can just drive over, and there's no events, so that's not going to happen. At best, we'll see each other like next whatever. But the original idea, which we have done before, is have one of us ship something to the other person's house because of shipping problems. Like, it's very expensive to ship stuff to Canada. So he's had stuff shipped to me that I can then ship to him cheaper because it's not like from a warehouse. Oh. And we were like, ooh, maybe you could ship it here, but it's so big. Like, these chairs are Big. So he sent me the pricing chart, which they actually talk about on the unofficial Elder Scrolls podcast. And if he wanted it sometime this fall, I believe it was like the same price as the chair.
Oh my God.
If he wanted it in 10-day shipping, it was $2,000.
Oh my God.
Reminds me of when Ag sent me the Somerset Collector's Edition.
Yes.
We also learned that the hard way. Personal shipping
like,
of big items is not advisable.
No, it is not.
How much did that cost?
Ag sending me the thing, or a lot. Like,
wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was more than the whole collector's
more
thing,
than the actual.
Yeah, it was like double
edition.
or triple the price of the collector's
lot more
edition.
than the collector's edition itself.
Yeah. That's what I kind of remember from that episode.
Yeah, that's oof. It was a big oof. Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope everyone who's been waiting for it gets it eventually, because I know people have been insanely hyped about that chair, the Elder Scrolls Online Noble chair. I, for one, I just, from now on, any chair I buy, I will 100% buy a mesh. Like, the more mesh it is, the better.
Oh,
mesh
okay,
back,
you like the mesh. Yep.
Sitting, mesh everything. I don't want anything from this. I just want a mesh. I want a chair out of air. I don't want to touch anything. I want to float. Okay.
That's actually I can understand that. I do like mesh is very cool. I like both. I'm actually more of a fan of fake leather than I am real leather when I sit on things, which is I guess weird. But mesh is also very, very breathable, and you don't like being hot, so that makes even more sense.
Yeah. I mean, the best chair I ever sat on was at my previous workplace before I quit. I mean, it was full all around mesh. You sat on mesh, you leaned back on mesh. It was just mesh. That was a beautiful chair. I miss that chair. Man, I wish they allowed me to bring it back with me when I quit.
Take the chair.
I'm gonna snatch this. I don't care about the next developer that comes here.
This is my severance package. I'm out of here.
Yeah. You can keep everything else. Just give me the chair. I don't even know where they bought it. I wonder if they made it custom, because I never saw it anywhere else. Who knows?
Oh, maybe.
But yeah. So, that kind of brings us... Actually, I want to discuss Oblivion Portals, but I don't know if I should do it before or after Tales. I guess after Tales makes more sense, or during Tales, because I have some problems with Oblivion Portals.
Well, we could always just have this kind of be a mix and blend right in.
Yeah, I'll probably do that. So,
because I was going to say, did we have anything else specific topic-wise that you wanted to cover or news-wise before we head into that?
Not really. I mean, unless we decide to go into patch notes, which I don't want to.
Yeah, I would much rather not do that.
Yeah, because that turns into a reading section, basically.
I know.
I tried doing that in the past. It's just like, this happened. So it's 30 minutes of me just reading patch notes with just minimal input in between.
Right, and there's minimal, speaking of things that are minimal, there's also minimal, impact that a lot of people will even probably notice. Like when it's scaled my weapon damage from 468 to 473. It's okay, nobody is going to be able to pick that out of a lineup. That is a balance issue for behind the scenes.
Oh, actually, one big change when you bring up balance is the champion point revamp.
That's true.
So a lot of bonuses as well as the point requirements from champion points got halved with Blackwood. So things that, for example, gave, I'm just gonna random number, say it gave 100 cost reduction but cost 50 points, is now giving 50 cost reduction but costing 25 points. So they lowered the amount of champion points that you need, and currently I am at 1200 champion points and I am maxed out. I am maxed out on all the passives with 4 active skills that I can use at a time. Or perks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 1200 and I'm maxed out. I don't need any more CP. The benefit of having more CP now for me will be the ability to not worry about redistributing and just moving my perks around. That's it. But yeah, 1200. Well, 1200. I do miss some irrelevant things like bash damage, for example. Like, I don't have my bash damage maxed out on the fitness point, but it's trivial as it
the
gets.
odds that that's going to make or break whatever you're doing is really slim.
Yeah. So that's a big change, though. I know some people are happy like me because I don't have to grind anymore.
Yep. How about you, Pixie?
I know some
What's
people
your
are sad
opinion
too.
on it?
So for the champion points, I am still CP like 9 something, so I still have a way to go. But I mean, I haven't looked at the actual passives because I admittedly haven't had a whole lot of time to play because of real life stuff that's come up.
Sure.
But I mean, if it lowers the cap a little bit, then I'm personally happy about it just because I have like not a lot of champion points yet.
Sure.
So I do feel like that'll make it like less daunting for people who are just getting into the game, because I know a lot of people were like, some people were really happy about 3600. A lot of people were really unhappy and thought it was too high. This way, like if you're trying to do everything on one tune or something like that, so say you have like different builds you switch between, so if your healer also can DPS, if you switch their sets around and stuff, then the extra CP will be great, like the whole 3600. If you do all rolls on one tune, then you might actually be able to use those by swapping out things. So I like it, but then again, I haven't like actually looked at the changes in the CP just because I've been so busy lately.
Yeah,
So-
it adheres to our lazy side.
And I'll get to be the opposing side of this. I like that the floor is being raised up for people so that it's easier for people to reach what they want. Case in point, you don't need as many CP to get where you're trying to go. That I like. I like that concept for people. On the flip side, the fact that the ceiling is being lowered in that regard bothers me pretty badly, actually. I really, really dislike that. I like the ability to have something to work toward that allows me to also gain strength. Well, yes, the CP system is supposed to be more about horizontal progression or whatever, but I am now going from what I used to. So in my case, for example, and this is obviously not for people who aren't, I'm not at CP cap, so that everybody's aware. I am pretty high up there, don't get me wrong. I'm 1792, I believe it is, or something like that. But theoretically, I believe peak tanking, like ideal situation, is actually around 2000 or so. So I'm still like a little ways off. So this isn't even from a thing of like, oh, I don't like that I'm now going to go completely over the base cap. So now I can flip stuff around easier. That's great. But from me doing stuff last patch, I am now straight up being nerfed. Like,
yes,
it's refunding some of my points at the cost of the highest peak I can reach. I don't like that at all. I really, really dislike when they scale back something you're already doing, because then you run into a situation which it's not that it can't be learned, it can't be fixed, you can't work on it, whatever. But when you're, for example, we are continuing our VCR3 prog. It is turned into more than that. I got my clear, then we got several clears as a team, and now it's devolved into like, hey, can we manage to pull off a Griffin Heart? We'll see about that. If whatever, if I ever join the show just screaming with joy, then yeah, I'm surprised I got a Griffin Heart. Otherwise, just assume I didn't do it.
I don't even know what's a Griffin Heart.
It's the trifecta in Cloud Rest.
Yeah, that would be insane.
No. It's the Cloud Rest trifecta. Yeah.
No.
We actually got time and 8 deaths last
me,
week.
man.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was quite
What
a jump. People nailed it, and we had a sloppy execute. But yeah, it was just like, so whatever. It's something that we're gonna work as a team and see how it goes. But just from that perspective, though, like we're progressing something that is very hard for us to do. It is a challenging thing. Patches change stuff, yes. We are now going to be facing a slightly more uphill battle for the thing than if we had just played more prior to this patch. That's what I don't like about it in concept, is something that somebody rushed to do this patch objectively had an easier time than after the CP changes. Now they've added new gear and all this stuff. So hey, maybe people find a new meta and better way to do it. Not saying that's not possible. It's just from a CP perspective, that concept I don't care for. I'm glad more people can reach where they need to be. I don't like that the journey has gotten shorter as well for those who could still work toward it. That's all.
And
That makes
honestly,
sense.
even at 1200 CP, I got nerfed because a lot of the things that I have the points to put into now, I don't actually use while tanking in PvE anyway.
Sure.
Or not to that degree. So yeah,
Right.
but I don't know. I mean, the numbers are so little that I can't really wrap my head around how much difference it's gonna, like, block cost reduction went from 80 to 40, for example.
Oh, that one's that's a worthless thing
that's
anyways.
like,
that's so negligible. It doesn't even, it's
80
glitched anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
I mean, my block
It's
cost
work.
is over 1,000 without, anything. Like, dropping
that's
it for
hyper
80 or 40, I mean, just slap on a block cost reduction ring and it's 200 something. So
Yeah. So
some of those perks are so irrelevant in a sense, the passive
Yes.
ones, that I don't know how much of a nerf it's going to be. It's just, I feel like it's just going to be nice to not worry about it at all. But that's because I really, really dislike grinding in any game.
Yeah.
Like, that's,
and
Yeah.
I'd rather be
Although
nerfed than grind more.
sure. And that's my thing is, although I don't like it, I don't want to seem like make people think that it's like, oh, we're totally screwed. Everything's ruined. Nah, in fact, it seems like, I know Matty Gone specifically, he got his highest DPS test
he's
recently
like
because he got
87 or something. If
yeah,
because
he got his pants of flawless cheatiness, the kilt,
the mythic that everybody.
the kilt of murder everything.
What does that do anyway? I know it's brokenly overpowerful. I don't even know what it does.
It cranks your crit up, and it only gets negated by direct damage, which is DPS are rarely getting direct damage. It's all ranged. So basically, what I've had it explained to me as is it's basically an amped up version of the Thracian Stranglers that popped up originally. So hopefully they leave that alone for a while so that we can just run amok like monsters, get a whole bunch of fun achievements that are really hard, and then whatever, then they can nerf it later or something. But yeah, so it's not a thing that it's like, oh, this is game breaking. Oh, it's just as a concept, I don't like that. I wish they would not do that. Make it easier for people to get there, but don't take away the end point. Like, don't move the goal closer to. That's all.
Fair point, honestly,
pretty fair.
Yeah.
But I'm lazy.
Yeah, and then I was gonna say, hey, whatever, elevator it up for everybody. I don't need you all to grind. I just don't want anything taken away from me.
Yeah, I guess the hard thing
CP
for
floor
me,
to 5.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine. It's whatever.
for me, since I just have such limited playtime, like with my son and all that, like grinding just seems daunting. At the same time, like I was also fine with it being higher because it's just like I'll get there eventually. Like it took me forever to get to 810, but it doesn't bother me either way.
And I did a little bit of Black Rose stuff, but then I was like, all right, that's enough. Like, I'm not gonna do this. Like, I'm no Inklings or J-Dub where it's just like, well, I have all of the CP. It's like, oh, good lord. It's like, nope, not that.
Yeah, I'm fine just earning it as I go. I don't do a whole lot extra to try to push for it since they didn't. Now, if they would have increased the gear cap like above where I was at, then yeah.
Yeah.
But since they didn't do that, like ever since I hit CP, like whatever I needed for trials on vet, I've just been pretty chill with it, to be honest.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't think they'll. They seem very much on the same page as my mentality with the gear thing, where I'm like, yes, just leave the gear cap alone. Just make new gear if you want me to have it. Don't go making me regrind old stuff.
If they ever change the gear cap again without a way to improve my current gear, like with crafting or something or transmutes, I'll most likely stop doing anything ever again in ESO that requires me to have top gear. Like I won't grind any of this ever again. So
that's the thing. That's the wonder of that sticker book. You can just recraft it.
Oh yeah.
No matter what.
Then I guess
it's even future proofed. Like that's what I mean. It's like I hope they don't bother, but at the same time, it's future proofed in case, because like I know one of my friends, they got a level 42 because they were just doing it on an alt. They did a random dungeon. They got the Burning Spellweave Inferno staff at level 42. And they were like, this used to be like the ultimate slap in the face if the game ever gave you a like not max rank rarest drop in the game. They're like, I just broke it down. It's in my collections. I remade it at the proper level and it's good to go. It's like, that is such a good system. It's so player friendly.
Yeah. I love sticker books. I mean, I just recently did a whole bunch of PvP stuff with the help of transmute. So also now you only have to, especially for me who uses 2 sword and shield bars, I only have to farm once.
Yes.
The other ones I can just craft. I just need 1 shield, 1 sword. The next set I can just craft on. It's
one of the best systems ever added to a video game as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. ESO in the last year have changed for quality of life a lot.
Thinking back in the day, a lot of people, especially newer players or people, it's amazing to think of how ESO worked originally compared to what it is now. Yeah. It has such an even and just player friendly flow to it that originally this game did not have. It is so different now compared to what it used to be. So it's just like things just kind of, the way you want them to work, they kind of just work. Or it's just like, oh, that's genius. It's like, so.
Yeah. Momo in chat says tank talk with Lotus and Arkaniir. Yeah, we should do that. We should get that into a separate series because both of us go off meta generally with our builds. We don't really just follow a meta tank build. So, and we have
I go meta when I'm needed.
Yeah, and we have very distinct tanking styles. So we should make that a different segment or something.
Or my eyes just glazed over because I'm just a very casual tank.
You're just the healer. You'll get there.
Yeah, you're just the healer of the group who likes to tank.
Yeah. I poke things occasionally.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all tanking is. You poke things occasionally. If you do it
poke and block,
not frequent enough, it goes and smacks the DPS.
Yeah.
That's fun sometimes.
And then they need to learn.
It's their fault.
It's their fault. Had they already been dodge rolling, they wouldn't be dead right now.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, so it is Tails time then. And Lotus, I'm gonna leave you to last, so we end the show on a hilariously painful note. And we are gonna leave your, vulgarity to the last as well. Pixie, why don't you take it away?
All right. Well, all of my tales are from Blackwood. I didn't get into any of the main story. So on launch night, I was mainly trying to do the new dailies because that's something I really like to do at the launch of any expansion because I really, really, really like dailies, especially whenever they like drop motifs and stuff. So as I was doing these dailies, which got to fight the giant frog boss, which is a lot of fun. The frogs are really, really cool, and I like how they're
The
kind of like
chonkers.
partially buried in the mud whenever you like stumble across them. And then so we fought that, and on the way to the delve, we found a portal. And Ark, I know you were mentioning earlier that you have like mixed thoughts on portals or some issues
Yes.
with portals. So I've done a few now. So you know that like during the Blackwood preview, I had yet to find one portal, but
Yeah.
during the PTS, I did find a single portal. But now I've done a grand total of 3 portals, and I'm in love with them. I'm sure you're gonna try to change my mind, but as of right now, I'm just ridiculously happy with them. Also,
Visually, they
kind
are
of
very nice.
yeah,
But
I
they
would
are
just like
just
happily
too
hop through
easy.
them.
Everything dies before I can touch anything.
Well, there's a lot of people in there right now because like I ended up having to solo the Titan with my companion, which took a while on a healer.
Yeah, but then they need
So-
to instance it more, like separate it into more instances, because my experience so far have been that I couldn't touch anything in there. It's just
I mean,
everything
that's gonna
melts.
die down like
I hope
as
so.
the expansion gets older. Just like if you try to do Harrow Storms or something now, there's less people there.
Yeah, true.
So that's just like my thoughts on it. Like maybe they could change like the max amount of people allowed in an instance. But I do think that's gonna die down once the launch week hype does. That being said, like something that was really interesting to me, so I had noticed this on the PTS, there were these giant like roaming enemies that would just kind of like walk around. Like I don't know if there's a way to interact with them or not. So there was this, I forget what on, I think they're called Ruinox. These big four-armed, they're like mini Dagons, kind of. There's a
Bootleg Dagon.
Ruinox. Yeah. Yep. And they look like Dagon.
Dagon, beautiful.
And so there was bootleg Dagon and then this red harvester. And like I've seen each of them separately. Well, on this portal that I was in on launch night, they were both in there together and they started fighting each other.
I
Like
saw that.
so they got into this massive fight. We started taking bets on who was going to win. The harvester won the fight that I saw, but it was really, really cool. I stood there and just watched it the whole time because the harvester was like spitting fire at the Ruinoc. The Ruinoc was like slashing it with all its swords. And then eventually the Ruinoc like went down on its knee and put all of its swords in the ground. And the harvester like dove into the lava and swam away. But it was really, really awesome.
I've been watching them all this time, ever since the preview event, and like trying to get close to them and whatnot. I never saw them fight. That is actually up until like during your stream. That's just such a detail, such a random detail that adds so much to the spirit of Deadlands.
Right.
It does. I've also been told, now I have not, like I said, I haven't had a ton of time to play, unfortunately. Somebody in Twitch chat last night told me that there's actually a secret boss in the portals.
Yes,
that
I
is
saw
apparently
that.
more difficult.
Yeah, I saw them mention that too, and then they didn't want to spoil it. They were like, should I spoil it or should I just let you figure it out? And you're like, oh, I want to figure it out. That's really cool if that's the case.
Yeah. Because apparently those are harder. But I don't know I cannot confirm or deny the existence of a secret boss in these portals. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Right. Is this playground talk where it's like, my dad works at Nintendo and you're going to get banned for doing that? But
Yeah, or maybe like I misunderstood something. They were talking about Black Drake. I don't know. But it sounded like they meant in the portals.
yeah, no.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
but
Now I'm curious.
hopefully that is the case because like I don't know. I know I said I didn't want to spoil it. I kind of wanted to figure it out for myself, but I kind of just want to like Google it
And see if you're searching for something real.
Yeah.
The portal doesn't disappear once you like finish the final boss. So I guess there's time to just go exploring once you get through it. While
That's
everybody's just
true.
running around. You can just go ahead and explore. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm curious.
Because how cool would it be if you could fight those big roaming guys?
Yeah, oh god. Actually,
Yeah.
that reminds me. I mean, this is just a world event with a giant bootleg Dagon and a giant harvester fighting it out. How is it going to be with the actual Deadlands DLC? With the story
Yeah.
elements and the environment? Like, imagine how stupidly majestic things might look in the actual Deadlands and not just this, because this is just a side instance, if you think about it. And they put that much detail and thought into that. So,
Right.
looking forward to it.
It was incredible to see, and it was totally unexpected. Like I said, like I had been in a couple of them and just seen the roamers, so I thought it was just like for some ambiance or something, and then I just see them just duking it out because they weren't even like fighting as soon as I walked in there. So I walked in there, was kind of like looking around, and I saw the Ruinot coming from the left, and like a couple seconds later, I saw the Harvester coming up from the right, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. There's a couple of them, and I saw them start to clash like from a distance. So it was like something that just like happened. They just happened to run into each other. It was really awesome. So I did manage in that portal to pull a lead. It was a gold lead for a Kothringi canoe. And so, of course, right after I get my VKA boat, I get another boat. So now I have two boats. I'm just going to start a dock at this point. But that boat has like a really pretty like blue and white sail, and it looks really, really nice. And I really do like that antiquity. I also have one for a warm asymmetrical ruby that I haven't actually scried yet, but I have gotten the lead for it. So I am liking that I'm picking up some new leads. I'm interested to see what new stuff there is because I haven't looked at a complete list of it because I kind of like being surprised sometimes.
Yeah.
And also, again, time constraints are just ridiculous lately.
Then one quick thing so you don't get too separated from it, and I guess this isn't a spoiler, I guess, but you were not lied to. I'll just put it that way.
Oh, nice. So there's a secret boss.
There's a lot with those portals when I opened up a page on that. There seems to be a lot more than just the boss. Like,
okay. So now I'm curious.
Yeah. So it is a thing. I'll just leave it at that because I didn't read too much into the details. Once it started explaining stuff, I was like, no, I don't want to know that. But I was like, is this a thing? The answer is yes.
Okay. So now we have to go do some exploring in the Deadlands. I'm excited. But okay, so I wasn't lied to. That makes me feel good. And I wasn't not remembering how to read stuff, which is a thing that happens to me sometimes. So yesterday I decided to start unlocking the companions, and I did manage to unlock both Miri and Bastion. So I had played with Bastion a bit during the Blackwood preview, so I had ran with him. Goody two shoes, Dragon Knight boy. He's cool. I like him. His quest was kind of hilarious. So I don't want to give away story spoilers, but you're basically you're dealing with a spoiled brat named Quistly.
Yeah.
Which just
worst name
sounds
ever.
like a spoiled brat name.
Yep.
It's very fitting for the person, and I really enjoyed that quest. And then on the other side, you have Miri. So I hadn't messed with Miri at all during the Blackwood preview or during the PTS. So she was actually the first one I unlocked this time around. I really like her. She has like quite a bit of attitude, which she's a Dunmer Nightblade who has no issues with you stealing and whatnot. So I figured she was going to be a sassy woman, and she's just been really awesome. So they like each of them, and I had mentioned this during the discussion we had after the preview event, but they have very distinctive personalities, and they will both talk to you like during combat and stuff. I really like her a lot, so I've leveled her a bit, and I'm liking so when I was playing during the preview, I also had them like already fully leveled. I didn't go through the leveling. So seeing how quickly I'm getting through some of these levels with Miri has been really nice. So I've been unlocking some new skill slots for her, unlocking some new skills. I think I have her at like level 3 or level 4 right now. And I'm having a lot of fun with the companion system. And her quest was really neat too. It did remind me quite a bit of the story in Southern Elsewhere with like crystals draining souls. But as you go in there, it opens up to the place that has like Deadland spires and whatnot. And if you look straight up at the sky, it's really pretty, like purple and red. And it's gorgeous. And for me, like one of my biggest complaints about the game Oblivion is that the Deadlands just kind of looked like hellscape, like the entire time, just red lava, black, like gothic buildings, which is cool, but it's like very much the same thing. And it's kind of like that with a lot of Planes of Oblivion, but it was really cool to see that twist on it with like the really pretty sky and the trees and whatnot. So I thought it was a really nice touch to kind of throw in that variety, and it makes me more excited to go to the Deadlands with the next DLC. Other than that, did more dailies and more portals. The new world bosses are pretty cool. I do really like the big frog. I don't remember the other one that I fought last night, but overall, I'm having a blast with it. I'm really looking forward to actually getting to spend more time with it. So I'm gonna be able to play for a while on Saturday, and I'm hoping I get more time this weekend. But with how nuts everything has been, I haven't been able to play as much as I wanted to, and it's killing me inside. But here real soon, I'm actually gonna get to spend some real time doing more than just dailies. And I'm really looking forward to it because it's been really fun so far, and like everything I'd hoped it'd be and more, because like that zone is massive, just like Lotus was saying earlier. And I still haven't gotten into Rock Grove, so I want to get into a Rock Grove group soon, and it's just been really great.
Yeah, I haven't unlocked Miri yet, but now that I know that it involves some nice landscapes, now I kind of want to do. I went with Bastion because Dragon Knight's better than Nightblades, and I know Dragon Knight's skills and what they do by heart. So yeah. Also, apparently Bastion is a bookworm, so that works out for me too.
There you go.
But yeah, so far I got Bastion to level 11. I've been grinding Bastion more than I ever grinded myself. I made more
20?
CP this past week grinding Bastion than I did with the double experience event for myself. So yeah. And apparently you can buy white companion gear from the vendors, which would have helped me because I was trying to get a bow for Bastion instead of his default destruction staff. But, well, I'll do it later when next time I log in. The thing I really like about companions is it's like you can really customize it. They don't do super much, but especially if you are used to playing a support role rather than a full-on DPS, even their small damage adds up. And if you are playing as a DPS, they put out some proper heals. I don't know about Miri, but Bastion does put out some decent heals. Well, I guess with Miri as well, you can unlock the Blood Altar on them from the Undaunted skill line, which, when you synergize with it, will just give you a decent, like very decent heal. Bastion can use the Igneous Shields. Bastion can use the Kindle, which is cauterized from Dragon Knight, which shoots like a healing ball at you. I think they can use Bone Shield as well. So they have a lot of defensive abilities that can benefit you. Even if you normally melt everything down, they can use Chains. Well, Bastion can use Chains, which, again, even if you normally melt everything down, will make it easier because he will just gather everything together for you, like you have a pocket tank. So yeah, I really, really like them. And I've been trying to get Bastion to level 20 so I can unlock Miri and then get Miri to level 20. But it's a long road. Up until level 10, it goes fast. Once you hit level 10-ish, it starts to slow down. And you can... Okay, so Lotus in chat asked, I'm curious how outfits work. Dude, why you typed it in chat? You could have asked.
That was
us.
responding to Benevolent, but also you. Yeah, I was going to say you could also answer that. Yeah, I was going to say side conversation with Benevolent. But yeah, Ark, I have a question for the podcast hosts.
Yeah, so you can give a costume to them. Like all of my costumes are available for Bastion. You can also, if you're at an outfit station, you can, exactly like yourself, you can customize their outfit as well, and you can alternate between a costume and an outfit for them, just like your own character.
Really?
The only problem is you can't give them a helmet or a hat or anything like that.
I did hear about that, but theoretically, you can use all your motifs and make them a literal outfit.
Yes.
Oh, I
just gave my own
with them.
Yeah, you can give
That's
all
awesome.
of your motifs, style pages, everything available to your companion. So you can dress them up however you can dress up yourself.
So I can wear glass armor and they can wear glass armor. That's just what you want.
No, Lotus. No. Actually, that is the one motif that we can't get to work. It's X'd out. I don't know what to tell you.
Which one?
Oh
yeah, glass one. Yeah, the glass doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work on. Damn it!
It deletes your achievement points if you use glass armor on your companion, Lotus. But yeah, so you can just match your outfits or go different styles. You know, there's so much you can do with the style of your companion, except giving them a helmet. Their hide the helmet is on by default, and I hate it because I always have my helmet on my own character, and I would like to have Bastion to have his helmet on.
Yeah.
I also don't like that there are million Bastions and Miris running around.
Right. They might change that because I think a lot of people would like them to have helmets if possible. So they might end up changing that down the line. It's like, oh, we'll just put that you can put helmets on.
I even would have preferred if they just randomized other people's companion looks. Not their outfits, but like their face. Just click that randomize appearance for the other companions.
Well, that's like when you're doing a main quest and you have you are
running with Obnur Tarn and someone else is running with Obnur Tarn, but their Obnur Tarn is like a random
Imperial battle mage, and it's just literally a different person. Right, something like that. Which is a feature I really enjoy, actually. I really appreciate that they do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually a really cool concept.
Yeah, it adds a little touch of immersion because you don't see so many Abner Tharns running around.
But unfortunately now there is so many Miris in Bastions, and you can't even hide their face. So yeah. I hope they change that. I hope at least they allow us to slap a helmet on them. So I can match him more with my own character. Other than that, what I've been doing? I figured that the green and blue companion gear right now sells for a lot. Like the green, they sell for 80-90k a piece, according to Tamriel Trade Center. And I already binded some of them, unfortunately, even though I don't really have a use for them. I could have sold them, made some money, but that didn't happen. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna get organized with my tales now. So that was the companions part, but I have something more important. On Monday, we've been struggling with Stone Garden for a while now. Stone Garden Hard Mode, the Untaunted. On Monday, we regrouped. Last Monday, we figured that we've been struggling for no reason with the werewolf phases. Because we figured that we can just melt it. And it works. But initially, we did, up until this point, was we tried our hand at stacking the werewolves at the werewolf phase of Stone Garden Hard Mode. And we failed. It didn't work out. Right? And we were like, okay, I guess we have to do the mechanic now. So we started trying with werewolves at each corner. The problem with that is, one mistake and everybody dies. So we struggled. Like, we kept doing the werewolf phases. We didn't really get to the execute phase. The week before this, just on our like final 3 tries or so, we were like, let's try stacking again. You know, we know it didn't work before, but let's just try it. It took like 3 seconds for all of the werewolves to die. So we were like, okay, maybe we got lucky. Second werewolf phase, we stacked them all. They just died. And then we didn't know the execute phase because we barely got the execute phase. So we wiped at the execute phase. We went back, we tried again. We stacked them, and they all just died. And we did it again, and they all just died. And then we did it again, and they all just died. But at that point, it was getting late. We only tried like 3 times or so with skipping werewolf phase, basically. So last Monday, we gathered back up, confident that we could just try practice execute now. So we skipped werewolf phase. Got to execute, got very confused as to what the hell was happening, and died.
Yep, that sounds like execute phase the first time.
Yeah. I mean, we knew technically what we were supposed to do, you know, just run, you know, avoid lightning, rescue people from the lightning. But I kept getting overwhelmed by the ads and eventually got smacked and things like that. So we started again, skipped werewolf phase 1, skipped werewolf phase 2 by stacking them. Every now and then we kind of failed, but it was very rare. Like every 5 or 6 werewolf phase, we failed like once. So that was going really well. So we started practicing execute, and eventually we were like, mainly Jam was like, we may be overthinking this, because as soon as the execute phase starts, we're like, start running, and then it's like screaming all around, no one knows what, everyone's just yelling. Jen was like, we might be overthinking this. Let's just take it slow. And I was like, okay, so let's just kill one ad at a time, burn the boss in between and things like that. So we're like, okay, yeah, we are gonna take it slow. It worked. We killed the boss.
Yep. Very
so I
nice.
have a Stone Garden hard mode clear now. And
congratulations.
Both
really
Jen
cool title too.
And Kitsu didn't have their buffs apparently. Kitsu
yeah, that's
disconnected.
Another benefit.
Yeah, so Kitsu disconnected, and she apparently realized that she didn't have her buffs, but she didn't tell us that, so that we wouldn't get like discouraged. Yeah, she was being clever.
Smart.
Yeah, because we would have been discouraged most likely.
Yep.
And then we didn't realize Jan's buff situation, but Jan went to dye a costume. Because at that point we were like, okay, it's time to get serious. So we all switched to our bath towels, which is pretty much how we cleared every single hard mode in the game, in our bath towels, because that's when we get, that's when, you know, we are at our most powerful. So Jan ported out just to dye the bath towel. So only Luna and myself apparently had our buffs.
Oh my god.
Interesting.
And now we are looking back. I mean, we spent like several hours with the werewolf phases before we realized we could just melt them down in 3 seconds. So that was the sort of heartbreak one as to looking back and like, why did we struggle with this so much? Why didn't we just do this?
Yeah, it's
all the wasted time, all the unnecessary pain.
I mean, it's not easy. That's not the way to phrase this, but it's more complicated than it seems to, or it's less complicated than it seems, is what I mean. It's less complicated than it seems, and really the problem is not getting clipped by any of the damage crap floating around. That's really the holdup. But the fight itself is not actually very complicated. It's pretty straightforward. I don't personally like, I've mentioned it before, I'm not a big fan of the transformation dungeons. I think they look very cool, but I actually don't really enjoy the concept of that. But yeah, the werewolf thing, the stack and burn method, as long as you just get your timing down, it's over borderline before you even know it starts.
Yeah.
It's so
They didn't even
fast.
get to do the taunt switch thing in the second phase. You burn them
No.
so fast, they don't
You
even
can
get to
burn
do
them
the you have
right.
to switch taunts or whatever because they're
No,
dead.
you can just kill them so fast when they're in a group. You don't have to worry about switching taunt.
Question. So whenever you're doing the stack and burn, like, do you have to actually know what your werewolf skills are doing? Because
Yes.
I don't know which button.
Yes.
You
push
do.
to, like,
That's actually
That's
pretty
why
crucial.
we failed the first time. That's what we figured. So the
Okay.
first time we tried stack and burn, we didn't know what our skills did, so we just spammed them and we just
Yep.
died. Now that we knew what the skills did and we stacked them, it literally takes less than 5 seconds for them to just die.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's so fast.
You basically do a very quick rotation and it's over. You have a set damage rotation for your werewolf and you can just skip it. That's what it is. That's
Okay.
really all there is.
So what
to
your
it.
skills are? So your first skill is taunt. Your second skill is gap closer and damage. You can spam that one because you don't need it to stun anything or whatever. Your fourth skill is a cone attack that deals AoE damage and it has a pretty far range. You normally need that for destroying shock balls, but in this phase you don't need to. So you can spam 2 and 4 all the time. Your third skill is an AoE stun, which you normally need for when they are spewing poison. But you can spam that one too with this when you stack them because you don't need to save it because everyone's together. And your ultimate, your fifth skill, heals you when you heavy attack. So you have to have it on all the time. And your ultimate resets everybody's cooldowns. Well, your ultimate gives everybody a synergy, which resets all the cooldowns and gives everybody ultimate. So what you do is, you stack them together. You start spamming 2-4, 2-4, slap the stun in there. And someone uses ultimate, which resets everybody's cooldowns and gives everybody ultimate. So everybody spams skills again, and then the next person uses the ultimate, which resets all the cooldowns again, and everybody spams the skills again, and then the next person uses the ultimate. You barely get the fourth ultimate, like they die. Yeah. So it's just spam, ultimate, reset, spam, ultimate, reset, spam, ultimate. And if anybody dies in the process, and if someone has their ultimate on, you just cast ultimate, it reses people.
Oh yeah, it auto reses. Yeah, it's basically a free necro res.
Oh.
So say you are exiting werewolf phase with one person dead. If anyone has their ultimate, just use it. It reses them. It reses everybody. It's like a mass res.
That's awesome.
It doesn't write in the tooltip either. We found it out by mistake because we were spamming too much and everything died, and one of us just used the skill anyway, and it rezzed people, and we're like, what? That's
awesome.
Yes.
So yeah,
very handy thing too when you're first figuring it out.
Yeah. So now that we actually cleared Stone Garden hard mode, we are like, why did we even struggle with this in the first place? And I'm pretty sure we could just go back in there and clear it every night if we wanted.
Yeah, I've done it again, and it's amazingly simpler the second time you go in.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is, like, we haven't started. That's down the list on the trifectas we want to do. True Genius is like a pretty big flex, but I know a lot of people love that title. I don't like that title.
Oh, I like it.
So I know. So I won't use that title anyways. I'll use it, or I'll certainly be down to try it at some point, but that's not a dungeon. That and Frostvault, it's just, I don't know. Those are never, which is too bad because I love the rest of Stone Garden. It's just that final fight. I don't know what it is. I'm very adverse to becoming something else. It's weird to me.
I mean, especially when you skip the mechanic like that.
I know, it's so fast too.
It just means it holds you back with unnecessary animations and monologues.
Yeah, kind of.
It doesn't. Once you figure out what to do in that phase, it doesn't add anything to the fight.
Right, and so I guess it's just that's what it is. I'm not too sure, but what do you call it? In general, it is. It's all build up to trying to get that first clear, and then once you've got it, it's like, oh, this just all makes sense. Which I guess is kind of the case with a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but well, for example, Lair of Marcelok. I got the Lair of Marcelok hard mode faster than Stone Garden. I would not want to go back to Lair of Marcelok hard mode. No, I know what to do. I just hate it. But Stone Garden,
Right.
now that I know what to do, it's like, what?
So, you know, I have history with Lair of Marcelok hard mode
Yeah.
specifically with the 107 deaths in one try. I did go
Yeah.
back to Lair of Marcelok hard mode recently
Mhm.
because Bard still needed the clear.
Yep.
It was so easy.
Yeah.
Really?
It's
so easy.
Nice.
It's convincing
got it
yourself
in
to
3
do it the
pulls.
first time. That's what I'm saying. It's like I mean that's
Maybe it was 2 pulls. I think it was 2 pulls. We got it in 2 pulls.
that's
There you
actually what I would like to work on. We're going through, different trifectas with my group or whatever. That's the one that I actually really want to do. Is I want to do the trifecta on Lair of Marcelok, because before my new group, my old group, when we were just trying to do all the challengers, we nearly got the trifecta. We had done 2 of the 3 different ways. It was like, oh, we did speedrun and no death, and we did no death on hard mode. We just never did all 3 at the same time. So it's like, we're going to just do all of them at once. So it's like, I feel like this new group that we run with is generally more, we're much more efficient than our older group. So it's like, I feel like once we get a rhythm to that place would be pretty manageable, because I like that dungeon. It's long. And the not the last fight, but the fight before the last fight is a little wonky sometimes, with him
Right.
just not coming down from the roost ever, but which can really make it rough on a speed run. But other than that, it's like that I don't know. I really like that dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to try Stone Garden without the buffs, but I mean, we had
for the
Jen and Kitsu
old-fashioned-
without the buffs, but they're beasts anyway. And Luna
I
is
mean-
also a beast of a healer. The problem is, I barely survived this whole thing, man. I was
All right, so let me put it this way: this is not necessarily my perspective, but I mean, I agree with this perspective, but as a tank, I don't want to just be like, oh well. Everyone always says the stress test in there is not the DPS and it is not the healer.
no.
It's can your tank stay up during that fight?
Yeah.
that is the test of that hard mode. That's what it
Dude,
is.
I've never been so stressed in anything in ESO as Stone Garden hard mode. In keep staying
many
alive.
times, I will often say that once you know positioning as a tank, like I always think damage players a lot of times have it very complicated, and that's why I think a lot of damage players like playing DPS is because you're trying to do your rotation, plus you're trying to avoid mechanics, and you've got to do things. Tanks, you kind of can't go too crazy, because if you start pulling stuff, they'll follow you, and then they're out of position, and then they're out of dots, and blah blah blah, and you got to keep your buffs. All of that aside, this is a tank test dungeon. Like, Stone Garden is a tank test dungeon, at least that part. The middle fight is actually not a tank test fight, it's a DPS thing, but
Yeah.
or a healer thing, whichever you want to put the weight on. But yeah, that final hard mode, that's a tank test. That's
Everything
straight
hurts
up what
so
that is.
much. There's fire, there's poison, there's the ads, there's the poison
There's-
from the Chorus. Screw Chorus
Yeah,
and their
the Chorus are
entire
terrible.
species. Then there's the Durzog, and if by mistake you do a tad bit more DPS, there are 2 ads now. So good luck
Yeah.
surviving that.
Yeah.
And then there's the
No.
stab from the boss, which deals like 13k dot. And if
just
there are the
miserable,
other
yep.
dots, you are burning.
I want
you are poisoned.
I would like that. I want that puncture. That's what I would like.
Yeah. Why is his puncture deal 7 million damage and my puncture deal 1? What's
He's
the
apparently a better tank than us. He has 6 million hit points or whatever nonsense he has. He can face tank a lot stronger than I can. And his puncture is more damaging than me. He's literally better than me at being a tank in every way.
This will only hurt until you die. I love combustion.
He's just so ridiculously off the rail.
Yeah. I mean, I love him as a dungeon boss, though, as a character. You know, he's the proper mad scientist.
Yeah.
But yeah, hearing I love combustion, haha,
Yeah.
it's over and over and over again, and it's like,
Yep.
God, we know, we got it, we get it.
Yeah, you really love combustion, dude.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely the roughest thing I may have tanked as a tank, because it was from beginning to finish, it's panic. And we did it without the guard as well, because I'm moving around too much. So the guard like, I mean, Luna is a beast healer, so taking 2 skill slots.
That's what we had with our healer.
I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and our healer was saying, he's like, I'll do it. I was like, no, don't do that. One, I have a personal vendetta where I was just like, I want to do this without doing that. Like, I just don't want to do that personally. So I was like, oh, that's fine. I'm always use whatever works. That's totally cool. Like, I am not like, I do have to be like that. No, you do whatever you want. I just was like, F you. I want to do this without guard to see if I can do it. And I've actually never done it with guard. But at the same time, crippling my healer to have like, okay, you've got to double bar this.
Yeah.
That seems like that's making him way less efficient.
Yeah,
and I can speak as a healer. It sucks.
Yeah.
And the thing is, 30% of the damage that is melting me.
Right.
How is the healer supposed to survive that? I don't get it.
Try and spam all the heal buttons and hope for the best.
I take all the direct damage aside. The dot, if you fail to dodge like the puncture and whatnot, the dot adds up to, I believe, 18k per tick with full resistances. Maxed out resistances. 30%, 1/3 of that is 6k per tick. All full resistances.
Yeah.
Who's gonna survive that? Not except
that's gonna melt the healer real quick too.
Yeah. And like, I dodge roll because the guard distance isn't that great. It's if you dodge roll the opposite directions because of anything, that's it. You're gonna have to recast it, and it's not a cheap skill to recast either. So,
I also don't know if it's the same on PC, because I saw you doing it sometimes, but it's also harder to watch somebody engage timing as it is to do it yourself, if that makes sense. Like, you kind of know timing differently. I mean, I don't know if you have code alerts that say dodge now or whatever as stuff, but on console, at least, when he's going to stab you, it's never the same timing. And I know it's supposed to be. Like, from what I've seen, it's supposed to be a set time on it, and it is not. He's just like winding up. I was like, how are you still winding up? You're literally running around with a wind up. That's not how this works. It's like,
that drives me insane. Because
so
what I knew is he throws 2 fire rings.
Yep.
And then like half a second later, he punctures. So sometimes I dodge it. Sometimes like he throws 2 fire rings and I start chasing. So I dodge roll because I think he's gonna puncture. No, he starts doing other stuff. And then I dodge roll again because I'm like, okay, but maybe now he's gonna puncture. So I'm dodging left and right all around, waiting for him to puncture. He never punctures. As soon as I stand still, because I'm running out of stamina at this point, because I've been dodge rolling around like a maniac.
Yeah.
He stops and like stabs me in the side. I'm like, God dang it. And I just popped my shell at that point. Like, screw this.
I ran into that a few times too. I was like, I cannot get this dude's timing down. And everything I saw, I was like, this seems to be more predictable than I seem to be running into. So either I'm reading this pattern just wrong, or this is weird.
80% of that time I spent punctured. I just accepted that. I just like, I get punctured, and I'm taking like 16k damage per second. Luna is out healing everything. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And then the ads spawn, and I'm like, okay, Magma Shell, I'm immortal for 13 seconds. Do whatever you want. I don't even bother to dodge anything or dodge heavy attacks and whatnot. Just get my stamina back, and then we start again. But yeah, that fight is panic. Sometimes for example, if I don't have my ultimate, and I get hit by the chorus and the puncture, with the chorus poison, it's, dude, I don't know how much damage it is, but it's like, Luna heals, my health drops to like 5%. One tick from Luna, it goes back to full, immediately goes back to 5%. If you get hit by the puncture and the poison from Chorus by mistake. It's like my health bar is doing a dance between the 0 and 100, 0 and 100. I am screaming. Luna is screaming. It's insane. I don't.
Yeah, it's a very chaotic.
Yeah, finally I got the Stone Garden hard mode clear.
Very nice.
And there are no dungeons in the game now we haven't done the hard mode of as the Untaunted. It is
That's
done.
Very
awesome.
nice.
You got the secret boss hard
Congratulations,
modes
guys.
from the dungeons as well. Everything's done. So yeah, we have completed our achievements against Finn. You know what this brings us to?
Black Rose.
Black Rose Prison hard mode, which
Yay!
I'm not looking forward to at all.
Hooray! Actually, so if it makes you feel better, there is no real hard mode to Black Rose Prison.
Except the fourth arena, which I heard max everybody around.
That's just life is hard mode. But yeah, like the hard mode in there for the hard mode achievement is just don't use any sigils.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's all it is. There is no way to make Black Rose harder without just not using the sigils. That's what's classified as hard mode. It's the same thing with like what do you call it?
Dude, if I
Vatashran.
use a sigil by mistake while trying to open a synergy, I'll lose it.
So
I'm just gonna avoid them.
about that. Yeah, here's the thing about that. Which have you ever done Black Rose? I know you did up to like.
On normal, I've done it. On veteran, I've got up to second arena.
All right,
and that's it.
So, whatever. You'll either find out about this or somebody will tell you about it anyways. I'm going to try my best to hide the contempt in my voice on this, but there's an add-on that I was informed about that just lets you not interact with the sigils.
Oh, I'm 100% gonna get that. Screw that. Yeah.
That is one of the only times that I am throwing the straight up bullshit flag. Avoiding those stupid sigils effectively requires you to cut off 1/4 of the arena on console in a cramped arena.
I really don't think that's by design. That's just an overlook on how terrible our synergy system is in Elder Scrolls Online. I can never get the synergy I want. I'm like,
that's valid.
I'm running out of stamina, right? I'm running out of stamina. I'm like, okay, I need stamina. Luna throws me shards. The shard synergy pops up for like a half a second, and then it's some damage thing. I'm like, I need my shards, and then I get that, and I'm not just running around trying to get my shard, interacting with every other synergy there is.
My problem, though, with it, and why I mentioned that, is just the simple fact of that fundamentally changes how you do Black Rose Prison. Like, it is straight up a different arena on PC with that add-on than it is on console. It is not the same fight. Which...
Okay, in that case, I might do it without it then.
So,
or
like, the reason
I will do
I
it
say
with the add-on first, and then try to convince everyone to do it again without the add-on.
So the reason I say that is because Black Rose Prison is a small arena for anybody who doesn't know that. It's a 4-person arena, but it's much more compact than something like Dragonstar Arena. It is essentially a literal circle of death. And some of the arenas, not that big of a deal, whatever. The first one's the easiest anyways. But Arena 2 and Arena 4, whatever, the Netches. They were brought up in chat by Ron Solo. It's the Netches. There are these indestructible Netches where if you touch them, they crap on the ground and leave poison circles, and they reflect damage back to you, and you can't do anything to them. So it's just areas of the arena that the game is saying you can't be here or do AoE damage here either. When you then cut off 4 areas of the map for sigils that you can't touch because you'll accidentally use them, you've now condensed that down again. So you've now got portions of the arena you can't use because of indestructible niches, and then you have portions of the arena you can't use because of sigils. You have half an arena.
Right.
That changes everything about that fight. Whereas if you can add that extra space, that gives you so much more room to work with. That's one of the only times I've ever heard of an add-on. Like that is literally changing how you can do the fight. Not that it's still, I mean, I'm sure it's still fucking brutal. That place is rough. But it's just like the only times that I've done it, I mean, we've never bothered. We figured the only time we're going to bother with working on trying to do no sigils is when we decide, if we ever decide to try to do Unchained at some point. But like we accidentally use sigils all the time, to your point. Just simply because it's like, oh, I need a shard. Well, you used whatever, reflect. It's like, well, I didn't want to use why would you prioritize reflect?
I'm really looking forward to an overhaul of ESO synergy system for sure. I mean, the add-ons go over that. So there are add-ons that prioritize. So put everything in a priority queue. Like if I have shards, show me the shards and ignore everybody else, does everything else and stuff like that.
That's
if add-ons are doing this, that it should be in the base game.
So to your point, though, one of the things that I've always heard, I mean, I don't have any way to test it, of course, in Cloud Rest, for example, when you go into the center portal, you have to activate the portal synergy to go downstairs. That is supposed to, from what I've been told, so let me put it this way. That is apparently top priority programmed. Like it's supposed to overwrite any it's always supposed to be the first thing you can interact with.
Could be.
It just straight up isn't. Like,
oh, maybe. I don't know. I didn't do Cloud Rest enough to...
So,
no.
More often than not, it is. Like, and that's kind of what I mean by it's like, maybe it's supposed to be, or I'm not sure. But I would say 80%, maybe 85% of the time, there can be shards down or explosives or Atronachs or whatever garbage is flying around the map because that place is a nightmare. I run over and I can activate the sigil or the circle. No problem. Go right in, whatever. There have been a couple situations where I run over, the portal is up, and I think I might still have the clip of it. I am standing on portal, and portal team is like, "Are you in?" And I'm like, "I can't get in." I activated an Atronach, I activated Liquid Lightning, I activated an orb, and I activated a shard. I was like, "I can't get in the goddamn portal. Like, I literally can't get in. I keep activating everything else." Yeah. So that's definitely more of an exception than the rule. But when it happens, it's just like, it's so infuriating.
I mean, yeah.
That's my rant on why add-ons are bad. No, I'm just kidding.
Even when we cleared Stoneguard hard mode, like we generally just shoot the shit while fighting the bosses and whatnot too. And I was talking about like, okay, well, I mean, we are doing all of this, but I'm not counting it because of Lotus. Because like on consoles, I mean, for example, just that fight, if I didn't have Code's combat alerts to tell me when to dodge the heavy attack from ads, nothing else. That's the only thing I never see. The heavy attacks from the ads, it doesn't exist for me visually. It's not there. I don't know.
Well, especially the spit from downtown.
The ad barely exists, let alone his little sparkles that I'm supposed to see in the middle of all that. I don't even see my own character. My character, the only reason I know where I am is because I am in the middle of the screen. Like my camera is centered. That's all. That's the only reason I know where I am. You know how you get like stunned in the poison phase in Stone Garden?
Yes.
Only time I realize when I'm crowd controlled is when I try to move and my camera doesn't move because I don't see my character. My character doesn't exist. So if I'm doing like the stunned animation, I don't see it. It doesn't. I'm like more so than ever. I try to dodge and my character doesn't do anything. And by my character, I mean my camera doesn't like move where it's supposed to move. I'm like, oh god, I'm stunned. And then I break free and then I dodge roll. I'm like, so I want to do all of this without add-ons someday. But I don't know if Luna,
You can
Kitsu, and
coax other
Jen will
people to
be
do it.
up for that pain.
Well, it's funny because one of the things that Luna had one of my favorite comments in chat on launch day for Flames of Ambition when I was a putz and forgot to, well, not even that I forgot, I just didn't realize that I didn't actually put any of my passives in.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just guessing at CP because I was like, I don't want to look this up. I'm just going to guess. So who knows what disaster of a build I had. And also I was missing some pretty crucial passives.
You
which would
were
have been
missing
nice to
the
have.
passives that you race changed for.
Yes, I literally race changed and
hilarious.
didn't use them. It's like, what? That was the purpose. But
That's what you get for betraying the Lords. Just sneaking that in there again. Continue.
I see. Well,
Clearly,
it's
you
nice
should've
up
just been
here.
a
We
high
have
elf
purple
tank.
skins. But we while we were in there and we were doing the new dungeon hard modes blind, while we were running around in the cauldron trying to figure out what was going on, one of the things that I thought was so funny was Luna put in chat, she's like, watching you do this without add-ons is stressing me out because I was sprinting and then I would spin the camera back really quick to look behind me to try to time when he was about to land his heavy attack so I could throw a block for 1 second, block the impact, then go back to sprinting. And I ended up seeing afterwards what she referred to, which is you have a duration bar that fills up when it's about to heavy attack you, so you just block automatically. It was like, oh,
block,
yeah,
dodge, roll, whatever you want to do. You can just look at...
And it's like, oh no, I'm like looking over my shoulder, like, oh my god, when's the animation gonna land? It's like, so.
Oh god.
The problem is that, like, even with the Code's Combat Alerts add-on, I still get smacked by those heavy attacks sometimes because my brain just doesn't register it. I see the bar go up. Like, I know it's within my vision. I know I see it.
I'm about to level up. Splat.
But... But there's just so much going on screen. There's like fire happening. There's effects. There's someone's, Nova. There's the Inferno Fire Staff Ultimate. And I just look at all of those and my brain is just like, this must be a Picasso painting. Yes, effects. And I get smacked in the face and die.
So pretty.
Yeah, and it's a mush, so I don't know how I'll do these without add-ons, but I really want to do it because at the moment I can brag about it to PC people. I cannot brag about it to console people because you guys do it without add-ons. So now I gotta do it without add-ons so I can brag about it to console people as well. But I don't know. We'll see, I guess. So yeah, finally, I have all the dungeons and
very impressive all the same. Like legitimate accomplishment. that is awesome. That is a lot of hard modes.
Apparently, the number of people who actually do hard modes is very low, even on the older DLC dungeons. Like apparently, it's. I really thought at least the Stone Garden I can understand. It was rough. Even for us, even though we practice weekly and
that's
focus
an awesome
on min-maxing and everything.
I don't know if you actually equipped it. That is an awesome title, by the way. I don't know
Pinnacle
if
of
you equipped
Evolution.
It. I love that one.
I screenshotted it and I just put it on over my character in bath towel. It looks amazing. Pinnacle of Evolution, and there's my Nord standing there with the bath towel. I'm like, yes, this is Pinnacle of Evolution. I even sent it to Finn, I think.
Priceless.
Well, I'm gonna link it in chat, but yeah, it's apparently I really thought there were more hard mode clears and whatnot. Even veteran, I don't know where we discussed it, but yeah, the number seems very low. So that kind of changed my view on, because you know me, I like everything to get harder and harder and harder. So I can throw myself at it further and further and further.
There's a reason to a degree these things do get modified, because whenever I've been shown anything statistics-wise, what people have completed and not completed, where I'm like, Yeah, that seems like a solid mid-tier. Oh no. It's like that is a shocking percentage of people that have not done that. Okay. Like so but it's general like it's cool that it's got something to work toward, and that's very impressive when you get to say you did it. And it's one of the things that I always try to at least say is like none of us went in and just aced all these things right out the gate. We're all at like kind of different levels of getting to it. And any of this stuff can be kind of overcame with enough practice of it. And it's just, that's really what separates a lot of people is how quick you can get through it is one thing, but like the dedication to practicing it is that's like a big defining factor with a lot of these things.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see when the next dungeons hit, because definitely the latest dungeon DLC was relatively a lot easier compared
it was
to
much easier,
Stone Garden and Castletorn. Like
absolutely. On the flip side, though, both of those dungeons were really good.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah,
were
I
really
really
fun.
love those
But
two.
what I'm curious about is, I wonder if
Yeah.
they are going taking the route of making things, more fun, less difficult, or if
They
we are
kind
gonna
of-
get another dungeon like Stone Garden
So
in the
here's
future.
the thing. Oftentimes, when you look at the packs, they're a little flip-floppy. Some of them are really hard, and people are like, "Oh my god, these are brutal." And the next bit, it's like, for example, Flames of Ambition, people are like, "Oh, they're just dumbing it down and making it easy for the casuals," and blah blah blah. I'm a neckbeard. I like to complain about things, whatever. So then we get another brutal thing following that up. I think they just mix it up. Like, I think that's what it is. It's just a lot of it gets, there's good variety because one of the ones that, I talked about a couple weeks back, the hard modes in, what's the Dragon Bones? Is that what it was called? It had Scale Collar Peak and Vet
That
Fang
was
Lair.
Dragon Bones.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Dragon-
There's a reason
Scalebreaker.
most people. Yeah. No, Scalebreaker
was later.
Yeah.
Dragon Bones was the Scale
Oh
Collar
right.
Peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scalebreaker was Moongrave
Right.
and Marsalok.
Yeah.
There's a reason most people still aren't. Well, I mean, it's not a title, which is the ultimate bane of existence. But like, there's a reason most people still don't have No Bro and Left Unbroken or Mountain God. Those are horrifically difficult. Those are like many DLCs late, like prior. It's just, I think it's just, do their mechanics come across as difficult or not? I thought both the new dungeons were very creative, but they weren't really very RNG based. Like, it was very calculatable.
Yeah, that was very nice. Yeah, you could
And I
actually
love
control
that.
the battle.
Yes. And to that point, everybody kind of got their teeth kicked in from that secret boss too.
Oh yeah, God. Woo.
That dude is savage.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, it's just, I don't think there's necessarily a intentionally easier or intentionally harder. I think it's just, okay, here's what we've designed. Does this have an easy flow or not? Unless they crank, the amount of health through the stratosphere or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's all. It's like, so I mean, if we consistently keep getting easier ones, maybe they've decided like, okay, we're gonna tone this back a little bit. But like having one, it's like, I mean, I still consider Moonhunter Keep
Oof.
like miserable. Granted,
Yeah.
there's some weirdnesses with Moonhunter Keep, but that one in general is just, I actually haven't done it since it got nerfed though. I still need to try that. So
I'm glad I got everything before it got nerfed. Like,
before it got nerfed.
so it's. I still think hard modes should get something more than a freaking title, though. Like, come on.
I know it's, well, you can only have like one title at a time.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the difficult thing is I want to be able to show all of my stuff all the time.
Right.
Exactly,
What we
like,
need.
one.
All right.
See, previously it was nice because you would get skin from one thing, marker from one thing. mount from another thing. It was this mix and match of things. And then skins became veteran rewards, and hard mode just became a title. It's... Zaz, come on. It's like, reward the difficulty, okay? Reward my tears.
Right. And I mean, it's kind of funny because they have, in a couple aspects, like the new trial has a mount. Sunspire has a mount. Like, nobody has them because nobody can do them because they're so hard. I mean, people
but that's
do
the whole
have
point.
Them, like, yeah. Oh no, absolutely. And it's just, it is funny though, because like, yeah, 4-player content could use like a mount. That would be neat.
Like that way, just, for trials, for example, you can get the mount from Sunspire and title from, I don't know, the Rock Grow or whatever the very difficult one is going to be. And then you can show off 2 things. You can show that you cleared Sunspire hard mode, and you can show that you cleared something else hard mode. One with title, one with mount, and then you can slap on a skin from another one. Then you can show off 3 things.
Yeah.
But with dungeons, you only have the title. That's it. The title.
Right.
You can only show off 1 thing. Pinnacle of Evolution. Which is only a good title when I'm in my bath towel. So yeah, I mean, like, I can understand that things need to be achievable for the average player base, but that shouldn't come at the cost of not rewarding the work I put into clearing the hard mode content. It's not like it comes naturally. We put in the practice, we get together every week, we do our best, we theorize, we scream.
Much screaming.
So
throw tantrums.
yeah, I will be annoyed by this until they add hard mode rewards properly.
I'm down for more rewards for people.
What have I been doing other than this? That took longer than I planned.
Yeah, we went off on a whole tangent on dungeons and trials and.
So mostly I've been leveling Bastion. I guess that's pretty much what I've been doing. I did do the entire Hrothgar storyline. Well, not entire. I had it halfway through on my PC EU. And I was like, oh god, I have to finish this before I meet Evely in Blackwood. So I burned through the Hrothgar storyline, and I got very angry by the end. Because the thing is, when you do quests on a normal pace, it doesn't bother me that much. But when I just slammed it back to back, quest after quest, the amount of running around you have to do in Orsinium builds up so fast. And I was like, oh god, okay, going there, running there. I finished everything, and the last quest is go deliver this to 6 people in the city. And I was like, oh, I was like, come on. Really? So that was annoying, but I finished it, and then Lars in Discord mentioned that you only have to meet Evely once in like Hrothgar, and you still get the acquaintance dialogue in Blackwood, so I don't actually have to do it. One thing I noticed though, Hrothgar is it's one of the earliest dungeons, so I don't care about spoilers at this point. There is a puzzle that you have to look into bookcases. In the library in the temple. There are 12 shelves, 13 shelves, separated like games, fiction, Tamriel, politics, whatever. And one of the bookshelves is called Who Knows? The bookshelf is categorized as Who Knows, and in a note there it says like, this category is for books that make no sense, so like you pick something up, it doesn't make any sense, you slap it into Who Knows category. You read it, and it has a message from Darien, actually, long before Somerset chapter. Darien had an Easter egg in Hrothgar, and I'm gonna pull it up because I just realized I can't pull it up so I'm bringing out my phone on Discord to not lose cameras. But so it reads, I'm trying to reach you. Yes, you. This is harder than you can imagine, writing words to paper that does not exist. White light. There's white light all around me. Am I alive? Am I dreaming? Are these the colored rooms? Help me. I want to come home, please, Darian.
That's heartbreaking.
Long before we met Darian again in Somerset, long before he wrote the book in Somerset, he had a note for us in Hrothgar that was just pushed into a who knows category of a library of a temple in Orsinium.
That's so awesome.
And he was like, help me, I want to come home. And they've been teasing Darian a lot more than any other main story character. We had all those other main story characters from the original main storyline with Moloch Ball and everything. It's Darian, the only one who had this level of interaction after the storyline. So first we have this all the way in Orsinium, where he's like, help me, I want to come home, am I in colored rooms? You know, I have no idea what the hell's going on, and he's trying to contact us by somehow managing to write a note to a paper that doesn't exist, which got shuffled into a random category in a library in Orsinium. And then in Somerset, he actually comes back as a Golden Saint, you know, helping us through the storyline, and then sort of putting Meridia as the villain. Sort of depicting Meridia as the villain and how he was holding him prisoner, and, you know, how she is not actually all good and everything. So, eventually, we need a Darian-focused storyline again, and Meridia as the villain. We've been saying this for like 3 chapters already, ever since Somerset, waiting for Meridia to be the main villain in a new chapter, in a new storyline. We missed with Greymore, we missed with Blackwood. Come on already. I mean, it's teased so much. Hrothgar to Orsinium, there's like 2 chapters between those things. Well, 1 chapter. And a lot of DLCs. There's like 2 years. Darian has been having these teases for several years in succession. So yeah. Hopefully next chapter we'll actually get to fight Meridia. We can still
Or there could still be
Well-
something at the end of this year.
They
Dagon
know who
smacks
Lyranth
Meridia,
works for?
yes.
I'll allow it.
Do we know who Lyranth works for? Because I noticed during the prologue quest, she says something about her lord, but like doesn't say who she
She
works
doesn't
for.
say. At least not in the prologue, because I haven't touched the storyline of Blackwood either yet.
Same.
She doesn't say. Lord. I wonder who could it be.
Yeah, I
mean, she's
I don't
after
know.
books and stuff. Even before it's Hermos Mora.
Oh, that would be an interesting
mean,
twist.
Lyranth-
Okay, well, there's
But that would be
I
like
mean,
a
there's no
seeker or
enemy
something.
there. What's the problem? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, but that's
just
the
let
thing.
Hermes
Like,
Moore do whatever he wants. It's fine.
Lyranth, the way Lyranth has been acting throughout the storylines would fit her if she was serving her Mamora. Because
True.
honestly, she's been mostly gathering information, getting access to things, not really
Right, same thing
fighting
with when
or
she's in the Imperial
creating
City
chaos
prison
or
and
anything
stuff.
like that.
Yeah,
It would fit that if she were, you know, serving Mora. Who else could it be? Not Sheogorath.
that's very
Not
unlikely.
Hercene. Maybe
Yeah,
the Taskmaster? But that
not
would be
mo-
very petty. Like the
Yeah,
really
that
the
would be pretty
Taskmaster, like the Periite,
Yeah,
the pleb
I
of
was
the
gonna-
Age of Princes.
yeah, there it is. What was it? And I mean, not Ball, because I mean,
That would be. I mean, she already defied Ball as well in the previous storylines.
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. So that would be kind of peculiar if that were the case. So Yeah, I'm
Well,
not. That's a
Clavicus
good.
Vile,
That's a really
not
good
really.
question.
Not Clavicus Vile's type.
Unlikely
to do
Clavicus
stuff
Vile
like that.
Nocturnal.
And
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
really
I
not
would
too
assume
sure.
because she said Lord. Did she say Lord specifically? Do you remember?
Mhm. She said Lord.
So I would assume it's not one of the female depicted Daedric princes. I mean,
Well,
they can
since they're
take whatever
all kind of-
gender they
Yeah,
want
they're
anyway.
all kind of gender fluid, so it doesn't really
And they're all
matter
called
too much.
princes.
Yeah, they're all.
That is also true.
Yeah. It's depending on the situation is what they're useful as. So that doesn't. I don't think that would help us narrow it down too much.
Mm. If anyone listening, either live or later, if you have any theories, do let us know.
Theories,
if your theories involve Blackwood spoilers, do not let us know.
Yeah, let us know in a couple months.
Yeah, then yeah. Anyway, so that's about it for me. Lotus, it is time.
All right, so I'll make reference to the short part, and then I'll just be mad, and that's how we'll end the show, is me being mad. I said I would kind of save my chair saga for kind of like the Tails thing, because it actually technically was kind of a tale. So what ended up happening the morning of ordering my chair, I found out they were live, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta get this quick just in case, because I know there was so much hype around it. I figured I'm not necessarily like I gotta wait in line for all these things unless it's like a fun event. Waiting with a shopping cart digitally is not really high on my list of things to ever do. But I did really want one of these to replace my chair. And even though they are expensive, I know there was a lot of hype to them. So I thought the potential that they could sell out was definitely there, because I also didn't know how many they had, what with all the shipping issues. So I sign in, I activate, I had already made an account and everything like that. And I go to pre-order it, and it asks for my confirmation on payments. And I was like, okay, great. And I click it, and it thinks for a minute, and it says payment denied. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, that's weird. So I back out of the page, and I go back into the page, and I try it again, and it says payment denied. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I was like, what? I was like, I know this card is valid. Like, why is this doing this? So, while I'm trying to figure out what the hell I need to do, I was like, wait, I have a limit. So I have a thing in case my card ever gets stolen with a limit. So that if somebody steals it, they can only spend so much money up to a cap before it cuts them and warns me. And then I can approve for whatever I want, but it's just so people can't run amok with it before I get to it. Whatever, not a big deal. But this chair is below what that is. So I was like, I don't understand. And as I'm like fumbling around, like, what the hell's my approach? My phone starts ringing. And I'm like, okay. So I open my phone, and they're like, blah, blah, blah. This is your bank with the credit, with fraud prevention alerts. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, it's actually fraud prevention. I was like, what the hell? So they're like, if this is blah, 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 we need to talk to you about some suspicious activity on your card. Press 1. And I'm like mashing the 1 button. I'm like, yes, put me to a person. So it puts me through. And I kind of felt bad for the person, because I was very much not interested in dealing with this. I was like, I need to do this, and I need to go back to work. Like, this is... But I didn't feel bad in the end of the phone call, because she didn't pay attention to me. And that's why I don't feel bad, because if you don't listen to me, I have less sympathy for you when you're at your job. But she's like, oh, we've noticed that there's a lot of activity on your card all of a sudden, and we need to confirm these things. And I was like, yeah, this is all very interesting. I was like, but I have a somewhat time-sensitive matter that I'm trying to purchase. So I would like you to approve the thing that I just told you to approve, because it is not over the limit that I have set on my card. Okay, well, we need to just confirm. I was like, okay, well, then speak faster. And she's like, okay, well, there was one credit card purchase for $499 from Noble Chairs, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yes, that is the thing I want you to approve. Okay, well, there's a second charge for $499 to Noble Chairs. I was like, what? I was like, no, that's the website reloading because it didn't work the first time. I was like, I don't want two of them. She's like, okay, so that one is fraud? I was like, no, it's not fraud. It's a reloading page error. She's like, oh, so I shouldn't, so you just want the first one. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. One of the things that I ordered is what I would like. Okay, that's good. So on Monday, blah, 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 and she starts reading off this other date. I'm like, what? I was like, that was like 4 days ago. What the hell is this? She's like, there was a charge for $17 at a gas station. I was like, we are not going through all of my transactions for the last month. I was like, we're done here. Is the thing approved? And she's like, oh, yeah, the chair thing. She's like, well, there are a couple more. I was like, they were probably all me. And if they're not, I do not care. And she was like, oh, okay. Would you be willing to take a survey? I was like,
oh my God.
I was like, and this is why I was like, I felt bad because I was rushing her, but then I didn't when she asked that question. Because my response, which was on a recorded line, so I'm sure I'll be in a training seminar somewhere on how to deal with a disgruntled person. I was like, does it fucking sound like I have time to take a survey when I started this conversation with this is time sensitive? And she goes, and I just hung up the phone at that point once she had already said that the thing had gone through.
Jesus.
But yeah, it was ridiculous. But the end of that was I pre-ordered my chair.
There you go. There you go. I don't know if it's like that here, but unfortunately they have these in the call centers, they have these set things that they are required to always ask and whatnot too.
And that's why.
So
I know that's the case, but it's like I started this with this is time sensitive. Does it sound like I want to take a survey about my customer service about a thing that I didn't ask for? Like normally I would really appreciate the security. In this case, I did not appreciate the security.
Make it less secure.
Yeah, so that was my chair saga. Shout out to all of those in Canada who are hoping that they get them shipped out. Fingers crossed for you. But that I guess brings me to Battlespire, which is pretty much all my tales. And I did a poll earlier today when I was at work. What with all the Elder Scrolls Online hype, I figured, well, I could farm some crap. I need keys. I need all this junk before the new chapter drops on console anyways. And for a while, it looked like I'd be playing ESO. And then thanks to you and several others promoting the fact.
Then.
Yeah, you woke up.
It looked like he was going to play ESO. And then I woke up and saw there was a vote. And then I thought, what is my favorite tales in Elder Scrolls in Tales of Tamriel? Is Lotus absolutely losing it? So I did things.
Yeah, and other people piggybacked on that. And then, as a side effect, I didn't play
love
ESO.
Democracy.
Yeah, I got outvoted with ESO, and suddenly it became that I was going to be playing Battlespire when I got home from work, which I was like, all right, that was a bit of a left turn that I did not expect. But I guess
how? Can I just ask, how did you not expect?
I figured everybody was at least excited for the new expansion, so people would want to just be on. I know, but people just like to watch ESO. There's always that thing where like people have a tough time going off a game that they play a lot on stream or are known for on stream because it's like, oh, well, will your audience follow you? All of the people who hang out with me just like varying degrees of me dooming myself. Is what I've learned.
You are the most entertaining person when you are angry that I know. Your anger and frustration is like absolutely entertaining, and I love it. I mean, I am sorry that it's at your expense, at your mental expense, but it's just beautiful.
Fair,
it's like a form of art.
To be fair, today was one of the few times where I was like starting to legitimately twitch because it was so many broken things at once. I was like, I can't progress, I can't play. I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. And the stream has been going for an hour and a half, and I have gone through 3 rooms. Like nothing has happened. So I was in, what is the name of this place? I had to write it down because the name is weird, and I'm not in the Soul Cairn anymore. I had left the Soul Cairn last episode, and the map looked kind of small. So I thought maybe this level wouldn't be that long. Never, ever assume anything in Battlespire is ever going to be shorter.
Oh,
Nah.
did we lose Lotus?
Yeah.
Oh, just one more little bit of struggle there.
All right, take it away, Lotus.
So I guess, provided I can stay connected for whatever that spike was, the place that I'm looking at, or the place that I got out of I got out of the Soul Cairn and made it to Shade Perilous, which is the castle of Nocturnal Lieutenant Jaciel Morgan. That's the name of the level.
Come again?
Wait.
Yep. The level I'm on after leaving the Soul Cairn is level 4, Shade Perilous. It's the castle of Nocturnal Lieutenant Jaciel Morgan. That's my level. That's what level I'm on.
That's a mouthful.
It sure is, and that's why I had to put a note in my phone because I was like, I can't remember this. I remembered it was Shade and nothing more. So, sorry, Chad. The internet company calling. Would you like to take a survey?
Oh man.
Oh man. 5 stars.
It's rare that Chad breaks through like this, and
that was really on point. So I spent all episode in Shade Perilous, which is what we're going to call it. Not the extended name. It's just Shade Perilous for now. Which is what they kind of refer to it more often than not. But I'm in there. There's Frost Atron. Well, so there aren't Atronachs. There are Frost Daedra and Fire Daedra, which are pretty cool, actually. The models are really neat. They're basically just these flame and ice entities. Like, it kind of looks like just frost fire. But they have like armor and everything like that. Really, really cool. They have kind of funny voices if you talk to them. Whatever. There's like, oh, cool, new enemy, blah, 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 moving on. Then comes the problem. I kept calling them harpies. They're not harpies. There are seducers and there are dark seducers. Now, most people know what dark seducers are. They're very similar. It's the basically diametrically opposed version of a golden saint for a quick run through, which you'll see a lot in Shiagora's realm. They're just Daedras floating around the map and stuff like that. Wow. They took a different direction with them, to say the least, because they're kind of skimpily dressed in the Elder Scrolls. Pretty much any of them that you've seen there,
Yeah, Nocturnal in general. Everything related to Nocturnal in general seems to be skimpy.
So they're really interestingly dressed in Battlespire. Essentially, one of them, the Dark Seducers, are flying bikini babes, I think was the way that Gone Crazy referred to them. But they basically just are floating around in a thong. And I was like, all right, these are a strange enemy. And then there's the regular seducers are the exact same thing I said, except without wings. So they just, bikini bats was what it was. Yes, good call. Thank you, Delta. Yeah, bikini bats. And Yeah, they're basically just it's very strange. But they're not armored was the point I was going with. So they make a lot of like they sound like they have armor and they have weapons. They don't. They don't have weapons. They don't have armor. They just claw at you. And they do absolutely ridiculous damage. Like Dramora's come at me with a greatsword. Flame Atronachs hit me with missiles. Nope. It's these things, these seducers. One swipe, 75% of my health is gone. Just any hit. Everything's a critical. It throws me across the room. It's like, makes fighting them incredibly disorienting because it's literally like I'm trying to aim at them. And when they hit me, not only do I take massive damage, it literally propels my character into walls. Like it throws me around the arena. So then you need to try to reorient. Surprise, the controls suck. That's
I was gonna say in a game
do.
like Battlespire, that's not good.
That's not good. So I kind of started to get to the point where I was like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do about this? So I know I'll get stuck. I'll get them stuck. So I tried to get farther away from them and I plink at them with arrows and whittle them down that way. And it sort of works for a while. They take a lot of abuse, like a lot of abuse, but I'm just firing arrows. I haven't been using bow and arrows, so I'm just teeing off on them. And then the problem comes of, well, if they take too much damage, they just start falling through the map.
Okay.
So they just go under the game at that point. They just fall through the floor. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, it's gone. Oh, nay, it is not gone. It's just under the map. So it's going to fucking punch me in the crotch from underneath the map because I can't see it, and it still does massive damage. But now I have no target to aim at because it's under the map. So when I walked to the area, I was immediately killed because they just clawed me to death from under the map, and I'm like, this is great. This is just perfect. So what I started to do was we've joked about my little fist animation where my punch is just basically me looking like kind of like I'm ringing a doorbell with my knuckles. That's pretty much just what I'm doing. They consistently fall through the map. This was not like a fluke thing where like, uh-oh, one of them fell through the map. No, they all just threw the map. A couple shots through the map. So I just start punching randomly in all directions. And sometimes I hit them, I guess, because they just die. So that was a plus that I killed some of them that way. The problem is, though, I am doing what I can to keep range, since really getting into melee range is not great. And I am dying comical amounts of times at this point. Like, just, I reload a save. I miss with 3 punches. I literally can't even hit the heal button fast enough, and it kills me. And I have to reload, and I rinse and repeat. And it just keeps happening. And I save anytime I can, like, kill one of these things or hit one and get out of the room. That's always like a plus. But it's shit is what it is, fighting these things. It's just total shit. These things are the worst. And I was curious because I seemed like I had leveled up a lot with my fist fighting. I was like, I've been going into fist fighting and I fight a lot of stuff. I've got to have something of a decent skill. And I am 81 in fist fighting. Mm-hmm. I do between 13 and 15 damage per punch. Assuming cap, like it is in all the other games, is 99, that means that I only have 18 spots where I can level up still. And at this point, if I can hit one of these things, forget doing damage. If I can just hit the fucking thing in less than 30 swings, it's a miracle. Like, I just sit there and whiff at point blank range just for like a minute straight before I hit them sometimes. And at that point, they've beat the shit out of me, so I'm dead. But whatever. We go through this at a grindingly slow pace. One by one, I managed to kill these things off. If they get stuck under the map, I need to just pray that I can hit them. I'm using the bow and arrow to my advantage as much as possible. And then my bow and arrow breaks because I've used it so much, and there's no way to repair things, and you can't buy new gear, and there are no vendors. So it breaks, and it's just gone forever. I don't have a bow and arrow. And I was like, well, hopefully I have a backup. I don't. So now that's out of the question. So now fist fighting is the only answer to the scenario. So I start trying to fist fight, and again, slogging my way through, constantly dying and scum saving. And I find a new bow, and I'm super excited. I'm like, yes, at least I can kind of cheese it this way a little bit. And then I run out of arrows because they take so many hits. So now I don't have arrows for the bow that I just got. So that was great. Let's see. That pretty much covers the first 2 hours of the stream. At which point I solved this riddle. It's not even a riddle. I just need to dispel dusk in Daedric with these buttons on the wall. So the room that has them is needlessly large. And I say needlessly large because there are 4 corners to the room. It is a square. You have to go up on this platform, and you look at this wall, and there are a set amount of buttons, and each button has a Daedric letter on them. And earlier in the dungeon, I found a scroll that says you have to spell dusk. That's the answer. Okay, whatever. So I press the button for the correct thing. I actually got it wrong a couple times because a lot of the things, when they're really pixelated, don't look quite so clear as you think they would. I press the button. It opens, it lifts up this platform. You have to walk across the platform. You have to turn a dial. And the dial, I don't know, it does a weird graphic. Water, I guess. I don't know what the hell it does. This is a blue beam. It might be water. It might not be water. I don't know. It's blue and it's white and it's fine. So you have to do this. Each one of the buttons you press open or lifts a bridge that lets you walk across the bridge to turn a dial that lets this thing happen. And when you do all 4 of them, it opens another door that
Oh God.
hides another door. If this sounds complicated, imagine playing it. So it opens a door that has a magic door behind it that you have to click on that asks you a riddle. Because sure. But I do all these things, and the reason I say the room is needlessly large is because it's taking so long to walk from one platform to another platform to another it's just, there's no reason the room is so big. It's just like with Scourge, you found a mace. No, that's not the mace. That's a switch that opened a door to the exact same mace. It's like, why the extra step? Like, why the extra step? So I get all that done. I get all excited. I go downstairs to try to get to the door, and there's 2 more, not harpies. I call it dark seducers. There are 2 more dark seducers, and there's like, I don't know, a half an hour till tails at this point. And I was like, cool. I'll kill these stupid things. I'll open the door, and we'll end with some success. Spoiler alert, that's not what happens. These 2 dark seducers are floating around, and I don't have the ability. I have no arrows left, so I can't do squat with that pretty much. So I jump up on this little platform where I have a little bit of an advantage, and these 2, the pathing kind of freaks out, I guess, and they just start getting it on with this burlap sack, which is just like these items that drop. They all drop in little burlap sacks. The dark seducers just go to town on this thing in a way that, like, people on stream were like, what is happening? Like, why are they doing this to the burlap sack? And what are they doing to each other doing whatever they're doing to the burlap sack? Like, it is awkward as hell that these models are like this. Use your imagination or load up the VOD. You'll be disappointed, I assure you. We were.
This is 96 for.
This is So they're freaking out and people start joking that they're twerking because they literally, the model, it's got two images, and the way the model is like front side, it literally looks like the seducers are twerking on this thing. And I'm like, I don't know how to process what I'm staring at. So I'm trying to punch them, and I can't hit them because I suck. And anytime I get close enough that I can just barely hit them, they hit me for way more damage than I can do to them. So I'm like, great, this is miserable. I'm out of arrows. I have a new bow, but that doesn't matter when I can't shoot anything at it. And it's just a matter of drink potion, lunge in, try to punch, fail at that, get hit, drink a potion. This just goes on. And I managed to finally kill one. And I'm like, oh my God, we're getting somewhere. And luckily, I guess, the other one goes right over to the dead one and just starts going to town on the same bag. Like just really going for it. So while that nightmare is happening, and people in chat were letting me know that this was quite an experience to witness, I was curious if anybody could hear the sound effect that I could hear, which the answer was no, apparently. So I turned down the music, which I've constantly stated is probably the best feature of this game, is its sweet ass music. When muting the music, I had introduced everybody to a new realm of hell of ASMR, of the Dark Seducer just making this like sound against the burlap sack, which I'm just like, what is this game? Like, what? How is this what I've come to like do with my game time? So it's making weird advances on the bag. I made everybody sit and listen to that so that nobody could be happy along with me not being happy. And I put the music back on and just went back to dying, trying to kill this stupid thing because there was no way I could fucking hit it without it just butchering me. I don't know how many potions I destroyed trying to fight this stupid thing. I kill it. I'm so pleased that they're all dead. There's no Dark Seducers left. There's nothing left in the game. I actually, it's a couple points while just being in this, up in the top corner, it tells you like you land a telling blow when you get a critical shot, or you heal this much when you use a spell. It's just typed. Or, you know, so-and-so, Dark Seducer dies. My personal favorite are always the Dremora dies with that blood-curdling scream. Well, during all this, other enemies were clearly so upset that this game exists, they were just committing seppuku around the level because it would periodically just be like, Dremora dies. I'm like, I'm not fighting a Dremora. I don't, why? Like, I don't, which Dremora died? And it's just like, Dremora dies. It's like, another one apparently couldn't take it anymore. They're so annoyed by their own game, they've just decided to end it. So that was good because then I didn't need to fight them. And, I was like, well, I'll hop down, I'll collect my gear, if I get anything, and then I'll go answer that riddle door, and we will leave. Like that, then we can raid in here, we'll start the show. Small victories. And I try to walk over, and I can't get off the platform. And I'm like, well, that's weird. I see that part. So I walk, and I bump into it. And sometimes because of the like terrible pathing, you kind of have to hop onto things or hop below things. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I have to jump down. So I jumped down. And I didn't quick save before I jumped down. Why would it matter that I quick? Because I glitched through the fucking level without quick saving. And I was fused in geometry where I could not move, I could not access anything, and I needed to reload my goddamn save again. And the save was back on the platform with both of the stupid Dark Seducers alive.
This is why I love you playing Battle Spire, man.
Like, I won. The fight was supposed to be over. There was no victory. There was crappy graphics error. So basically, that was at the point where you were like, "Okay, we can start the show. You can raid in." And I was like, "Fine, whatever." And before I switched scenes and raided in, I was just like, I just give up. And I pushed the forward button and I walk right off the thing that it made me jump to glitch through last time. This time I just walk casually off it, and I could walk around, and then I was ripped apart by the harpies that were still alive because fuck me. Like, this game is terrible. Like, it's not. I will mark this down. I like Elder Scrolls 1 Arena by default now. This game made me think Elder Scrolls 1 Arena is now, you know what? I would play that game again in a heartbeat. This game is torture. It's absolute torture. I played it before, right when I was joining the show. I'm not sure Redguard's a worse game than this. This might be the worst. It's going to be quite an experience to try to determine which of these two is actually worse. This game feels like it's in alpha. It has so many bugs. You swim so fast that if you touch walls while swimming, you fly through them and then can't get back in bounds and you have to reload your game. And if you die too many times in a row, it deletes the cursor and you have to close the application. That's it.
STDLC asks a very important question. More of Battlespire on Sunday.
Please.
Question mark.
Battlespire on Sunday. Possibly.
Yes.
I feel like I'm going to start needing like a vacation after these sessions.
I'm gonna need therapy after these sessions based on what I was seeing.
Yes.
Anger management.
How am I only on level 4? There's 7 levels of this crap.
Oh god.
There's 7 levels of this crap, and I'm on level 4.
Okay. As much as I enjoy this, I think for your sanity, you should quit Battlespire and move on to Elder Scrolls Daggerfall or something.
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say to it.
Oh, beautiful.
But yeah, so that's what I did. That was what I did this week, which was like several hours ago. That's called replay value. But yeah, so
beautiful.
Again, I'm not one to quit, so I'll eventually get through this or literally die trying. So
yeah, I feel like 10 episodes of this later, you'll just lose it. You'll just be like a completely different person, a madman.
I'll just speak entirely in Daedric at that point.
Yeah, just speak in riddles, come on tales, and just make no sense.
Yep.
You've just become a riddle door.
Yeah, exactly. That was the other thing, which I wanted to try to be clever. So I ran up to the riddle door real quick to try to read it so that I could at least try to solve the riddle while I was feebly punching at the harpies. And I got one sentence in and the harpies tore me apart anyway, so I couldn't even read the riddle door to like work on it. So I don't actually know what the riddle is yet.
Yeah, I should play again on Sunday so we know.
Yeah, I can't sleep very well not knowing what the riddle is, actually. So I really think we should play again. It's going to keep me up at night. For my own sanity, you have to tell me what the riddle is.
Yes.
Back in there.
For everyone else's sanity.
I can't look it up. That would be cheating. So
that's true. That would be cheating. That
How
would
would you even look it up? Like Elder Scrolls Battlespire, the riddle with harpies punching.
Yeah, really assy room with harpies and burlap sack with shitty riddle. There we go. Google translate that. But yeah, so that's where we're up to in Battlespire. I haven't progressed levels at all, so still level 4. Yay!
Well, if there's nothing else, that brings us to the end of the show. Okay,
3
I
hours and
suppose there's
15
nothing else.
minutes later.
Yeah, we are almost. We are
that
at
sounds
2
good.
hour 45 minutes. So that's a yet another nice lengthy episode for all of you to enjoy. But
It's a
before
slightly
I do
long 2 hours.
yeah, slightly long 2 hours. Yeah. Before I get to the outro, Lotus, where can people find you and all of this absolutely enjoyable, very chill ASMR-like adventures that you
I mean,
get
there
involved
sure
in?
was an ASMR segment, despite everybody's protest of please turn it off with the burlap sack at that point. But yeah, I'm Lotus of Doom on Twitter and Twitch, or probably in an insane asylum soon enough if I keep playing this game. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, I don't really have a stream schedule. I just stream when I have free time. But it's usually super fun. Today was like sanity breaking. It's fun playing it, but holy crap, this game is real intense, even by the crap meter. So yeah, I can be found pretty much anywhere. Even if I have an account, it's probably Lotus of Doom, but I'm most active on Twitter and Twitch. So feel free to find me there. Shoot me a message if you need me for anything, and yeah, always happy to have people come by and hang out. That's what makes this game actually even remotely amusing, because I do not think I would make it through this if it was not for the entertainment of getting to chat with everybody while I play.
I can imagine. And Pixie, where can people find you and the stream team stuff and the giveaways that are about to happen tomorrow night?
So you can find me on Twitter at HyperPixie Games and on Twitch at HyperPixie Gaming. And tomorrow night, the stream's going to start at 7. The Bethesda host starts at 8 p.m. EDT. I'll be giving away a couple copies of Blackwood and also the elusive pink torchbug pet. So I'm really excited.
There you go, folks. That is 7 p.m. Eastern time, by the way. So that should be... Oh, my brain just stopped. 4 p.m. GMT, I believe.
Thank you. I have no idea what that conversion was going to be.
Apparently, okay. So the light in my room apparently makes my hair look red. That is actually sunlight, because it's now 7 a.m. where I am. The sun has been going up as we record this episode from, nighttime to daytime. So there you go. Yeah. The day has started
We're
for
all
me.
redheads here, apparently.
Oh my god.
Well, you can find me anywhere that is Arkaniir, ARKHANIIR. You can find the stream if you want to watch this live. You can do so over at Arkaniir's Quest, twitch.tv/Arkaniir's Quest. You can follow everything we do over at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There you can find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, this channel, YouTube, Twitters, because there are multiple Twitter accounts, our Discord link, which is pretty active, where we do all the off-stream and off-podcast shenanigans. You can also check out our Patreon, which is getting revamped, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, as well as early access to all of our supporters starting next episode at patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork. If you want to help support the show, you can also consider leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes, which now I have access to all the countries' iTunes reviews, because I did not have before, but that helps people know that we're a real podcast, that we say real words, and sometimes it matters. Thank you all so very much for joining us on this episode of Tales of Tamriel, and we will see you all next week. Have a great night.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Sear it fell, And like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well, Magicka fused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to Chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.